But here we go, guys. Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Next Podcast. That's right, it is Thursday. It is about 7 o'clock, and as normal, we are here live talking gaming news for you guys out there in the chat. What is going on, chat? Great to see all of you in here early, and I gotta say, it's going to be a crazy episode. It's something I've been predicting. With the topics that we have built up tonight, there is guaranteed that some of these topics are going to get spicy. And it's awesome because not only do we have hot topics, but we also have... What the frig is that?
That was your intro plan. I forgot to mute my...
Oh, okay. But not... All right, but
it's a little lullaby.
Let's start this over. What's going on? Nah, let's not do that. But not only do we have hot topics, but we also have a first ever special guest. And I was talking to Knoxximus, kind of like off air, and it seems like whenever we have a first ever special guest, the topics are always kind of like extra hot, extra spicy, and it's going to be very interesting. But as usual, we will keep the special guest intro to the end. You know, here at Next Podcast, we like to save the best for last. So I'm going to go in for our panel. I'm going to start off with the Connecticut resident himself, just like me, hardcore Gears fanatic, but he also plays Mortal Kombat 11 and soccer cars. Yo, what is up, Crispy? How you doing, bro?
Oh, you just pull out 3 when there's like 12 now. Like, holy crap! Like, I don't even know how to finish a game lately. But What's up, people? What is up, chat? Gotta love all the trash going on Twitter. It's pretty funny, and I'm taking those receipts, by the way. So you watch what happens real soon.
Nah, no way.
Gotta love it though. You know, you gotta ping to the pong and understand that it's fun, and it's also really bad when you screw up and say something dumb. So I can't wait for you to see that in a couple months. Are you in a submarine? What is going on here?
What's going on, dude?
All right, I'm done.
And he's not even answering. Pred's not even answering on that. Like. I think he's working the drive-through window at some kind of like fast food joint. That's what's going on. And as the cars are going by, it's like ding ding. Oh, he's gas station. Maybe he's working at a gas station right now.
Every time you hear that bing, K-Mega's wife can come up for air.
Whoa!
Oh shit!
Dude, I hope he's in. I hope he's in the hangout, man. Like,
he's not.
Wow. Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting that super chat super early, brother. Thank you for the support. He says, golf is life. Right, Xbot? Yo, brother, I had a blast playing golf last night, man. It was a lot of fun. Dude, I love the game. I love when people come together and we can do a round of 18. Yeah, dude, golf is life, man. I love playing that game, and especially with my brother, Sir X-Man, who does stream it out on Twitch as well. But getting back into the intros, the man from the Lone Star State who is filling up on regular unleaded gas station. He's working at the gas station right now. Predator, what is up, bro?
What's going on, man? Just let everybody know I got to cut out of here early. So I'll be here for like the first hour, and I'm out. I got some shit to do tonight. Got some drinking to do. Maybe I'll pop in drunk if y'all are still on.
Oh, no. then it would just be a you and Crispy show. Like me, Dark, everybody would just back away. Like, let you guys roll with it, man. But yeah, no, it's good to have you on, bro. Like I said, man, you are a stable panel member, so it's good to have you on, even for the limited time tonight. But yeah, let's move on to my West Coast brother, the man who is ready to start a lot of shit tonight. Yo, guys, you don't even know what he was already instigating off air. Yes, it is Knoxximus, aka Angry Otter. What is up, bro?
What's up, man?
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it. Talk about my mom. Go ahead.
I wasn't gonna, go at Crispy tonight, but
oh wow,
I know K Mega loves that white on white crime, so I gotta keep it up for K Mega.
Did you just?
He needs that white on white crime every podcast.
Wow.
So,
I need a little dose of it. Yes, I do.
Oh! Dude, I thought I was gonna have to say you're gonna be a couple minutes late, but check this out. White on white crime. It's like putting mayonnaise on Wonder Bread. That's white on white crime right there. Yeah.
Oh,
You like
just
that?
by itself. Just eat it, people.
You
Just
like
eat
it?
it.
You like it? Oh no! Oh yo! Shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. He says, "Got my moonshine again for the next golf game, brother." Brother, no, you don't want to do that, man. You don't want to do. Yo, he set up the golf game last night. It was bright and sunny with rain. Like it was the weirdest 18 holes I've ever went through, but it was a lot of
Was
fun.
it all rainbows? Was it all rainbows?
There was a
It's like-
rainbow. There was a rainbow, dude. I swear.
See? That's why he did that. There you
Yeah.
go. He wanted to see the rainbows.
Okay, I like rainbows too, man. I'm not gonna front. I'm secure, bro. I can say that. I dig rainbows. But talking about rainbows, let's go on to the next panel member coming live from the 405, and he only wants to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. K Mega, what is up, bro?
Well, then I shouldn't be talking to the host anymore, right?
Oh, damn. I
Oh,
also
snap! I mean, you just came and insulted me talking about rainbows, even though I think rainbows are very
I was
beautiful.
gonna say, what's wrong with rainbows, man?
Nothing. Rainbows are great.
So how is
you don't
that
see
an
'em
insult?
until the
So how's
future.
that an insult?
I don't know. You kind of made me seem like I was just kind of like, I don't know.
Fruity?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We
See, you just
politically
jumped the
correct
gun.
around here.
You jumped the
Sensitive,
gun and you
maybe?
just came at me,
A
bro.
just a little sensitive. You know what I'm saying? We gotta love, our Rainbow Coalition out there. Much love to y'all guys. Anyway, no, man, glad to be here. Sorry I was late. You know what I'm saying? Duty called, had to take care of some business. And I also apologize to you guys that I wasn't there. I'm right here at the end of downloading all of my games.
Oh.
I'm like, man, if I gotta re-download all these games into my external hard drive, because I was an idiot and was trying to move the capture because I was told that you can move the capture to different ports or whatever, to different areas,
Who told you that?
and you can't. And so maybe they might have a patch going on later, but then when it gives you this prompt that says, well, it has to be formatted, I'm like, this thing is already formatted. But I was like, all right, let me hit it anyway. It's 4:00 in the morning. I'm tired. Let me just hit it.
Game clip captures are messed up right now on Series X anyway.
And I just
Hey, this is an intro. This is not a
I just
discussion
wanted to just
topic,
make my
man.
point. It's okay.
We know you're late. You're already late. You ain't got to expand
Hold
your
on, I
shit
know
out any
that you're
longer.
about to get ready to go somewhere, but
So that's why we're trying to get to the topics. You're over here talking.
All right, cool. But
Cut
anyway,
it out.
so I did that. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. So I will be there for golf the next time that you do it. But man, it's good to be here.
Nice, man. Maybe tonight after the show if you're not doing anything. But shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. He says, wish K Mega had been there to play golf with us. Yeah, I think he was just saying that, man. He wants to get in next time. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. We talk a lot of shit. I think K Mega would like that. But here we go. We are getting to the man of the hour, the first time guest. He is an up and coming YouTuber. Not only that, man, he is an awesome part of the community. He goes around different shows and just shows a lot of love, a lot of support when it comes to people who are doing podcasts, creating content and stuff like that. Now, I don't have his channel in the description below, but I'm going to do something a little bit different right now. First off, it is Stubbs Game. Well, I just call you Stubbs, man. What is going on, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, cheers. Thanks for the invite. It's late here in England. It's midnight. It's technically I'm in Friday already. But yeah, thanks for the invite. I really appreciate it.
Nice, brother. And what I'm doing right now is I put Stubbs' channel in the chat. So guys, go ahead and click on that. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Click on that and sub to my brother Stubbs, man. He is an awesome content creator, and you will see as this show goes by, and it's okay. It's time to, dude. You know
what that means? Breathe.
Stubbs, thank you for joining us, man. As you can see, it's gonna be one of those shows, brother. It's gonna be a crazy show. I'm trying to think about what the first topic we are gonna talk about is, because all of them are crazy. You know what? Let's go into Game of the Year nominations, because when you look at the Game of the Year nominations, when it comes to the Video Game Awards, there's a couple of things there in terms of snubs. People like to talk about snubs. Of course, you got, Last of Us 2 is there. Ghost of Tsushima is there. You have Doom and a couple other games. But there was two games that were really popular throughout the year. One of them being Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and the other one being Half-Life Alyx. And a lot of people are out there complaining that these two games were snubbed. Now, I gotta ask Stubbs, what do you think in terms, I know when it comes to award shows, there's always a couple games where people are like, yo, why not those games? And why is that game in there and not these games or whatnot? But Stubbs, I gotta ask you, do you think these two games were snubbed in terms of being, nominees for Game of the Year? And if you do think so, what would be the two games that you would take out of the nominations?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have seen Ori 2. I mean, that game there is well worthy of being Game of the Year. I haven't actually played it. It's downloaded because I've just got the Series X yesterday. I have. All I can say is that people enjoy your updates when you get it. There's a lot of updates to do. There is, and especially if you've got a crap internet connection like mine.
Oh no.
Well, I've got to get about 30 to 40 megabytes down top speed. So
that's okay. Optimus is envious of that right now with what he gets. Yeah,
because I got internet. Like 2 or 3 ups down.
But yeah, no. Stubbs, check this out. I'm looking at all the games. You have Animal Crossing. Yeah. You have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I mean, it looks like a pretty decent lineup. Diversity, all that good stuff. But do you think that Ori and Half-Life Alyx got snubbed for Game of the Year this year?
I haven't actually played Half-Life Alyx or Ori, but I have seen videos of them. I have watched videos on them, and I have got Ori on my console. I've just not played it yet because I'm still trying to, as Indie Gamer will tell you, I'm still trying to complete the first one. I am. But okay. I'm trying. But Indie Gamer will tell you he watched me doing it on the stream and it was painful.
Oh, dude, you're going to die. You're going to die a lot. You just get used to dying, and you're like, you know what? I'll just keep doing it until random chance just gets me through the level. That's what you do, man.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, yeah, I believe that game was snubbed. I believe that game should win it, to be honest. Yeah, because the problem is it's hard to judge because I haven't played any of the games on the nominations. That's the problem.
Okay.
Because... yeah, that's my problem. I haven't played any of the games on nominations. So, but I'm just going on what I've looked at, you see, because I've only got, I'm not an Xbox fanboy, but I've only got an Xbox, because I can't afford anything.
According to Dark, you're a fanboy,
Well, yeah,
Yep. Yep.
It's because I can't afford nothing else, that's why. But yeah. It's not a very good topic for me. So I'm sorry, Xbox.
It's all right. Well, dude,
I've not played that many new games this year. I haven't,
It's all good,
old games.
I have to throw you the first question. Anytime we have a guest, that's something. It has become a tradition. Kind of throw the first question at the guest. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take you off the hot seat, man, and I'm gonna start bringing it across the panel. So. This man, he made it just by the skin of his teeth. He was on time. K-Mega, Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Half-Life Alex. And you heard the games that were nominated for games of the
Don't
game of
you
the
need
year.
to hit Fred up because he keeps chiming like he has to pee. So I think you might need to go to him.
All right,
next.
let me go to Predator then. Let me go to
Yeah,
Pred.
go to Predator.
Let me go to Pred. And I appreciate that, K Mega. That's very respectful of you. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a man who can get kind of low down and dirty
absolutely.
about your family members and stuff like that. So
He
I
knows.
appreciate that, bro.
He knows.
Yo, Pred, what do you think, bro? Now I know you played Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I know you like that game. All right, I don't think you have a VR headset for Half-Life Alex. But what do you think? These two games they seem to be the two games that most people in the community are yelling snub. Like they absolutely got snubbed for Game of the Year in terms of being nominated. What do you think, man? Do you think that's true? And if so, what would be the two games that you would pull out of the nominations to put those two in?
Oh man! First of all, thank you, K Mega, for letting me go, knowing that I'm pressed for time, and I take back everything I said about you before the show started.
Which was a lot.
Wow! Don't listen to anything prior to this.
I can't wait to hear those sweet nothings. I cannot wait.
So I'm looking here at the list, and I played Ghost. I think Ghost's gonna win. That's my game of the year anyway. But I don't know, man. I know some of the games on here have a huge following. There's a huge Final Fantasy following. There's a huge Animal Crossing following, and a lot all the games that are on there. They all have huge followings. It's almost like because of that they got picked. I have no idea what Hades is.
It's the place that K Mega sent a lot of people, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, right. I've never heard of that game before ever, and then coincidentally, my daughter says she wants me to pick that up for her for Christmas. I'm like, what? This is the third time I heard this game in the last 24 hours, so I had to look it up and see what it is. And obviously, it was a good indie, I guess. If it's been nominated, but I probably just off the top because I don't know shit about the game, I'm gonna pull that one out from the jump. Animal Crossing, not my style of game. But again, I'll probably pull that out too. Dune, maybe even the Final Fantasy remake. You could probably pull one of those out too, to be honest with you. But Ori, I would say it deserved the nominee. I still don't think even if it got nominated, it would have even gotten a lot of votes just because The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima were just, they killed it this year. So it wouldn't even matter what you changed them out with. It's just some of those games they put in there because they know no one's going to vote for them. And it's going to beef up the votes for the other ones, But I think for the most part, everybody here on the panel or even listening is going to pick either Ghost or Last of Us 2. I don't think anybody's going to be like, oh, Animal Crossing should have won. Any one of those two wins, I think I'd be.
Why are you an Animal Crossing hater, man? I
can't get into those games like that, man. It's those. I don't want to say cartoony, but fuck it, it's a cartoony kiddie game. I just can't do it. I'm too grown.
It's the Sims
shit.
Cartoon game. Is pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Too grown for that shit. And it's like I said, some of these games we didn't even hear of, really hear about outside of when they launched, and they just kind of disappeared. But obviously they had a huge following. But and then we talk about snubs. Why wasn't Jedi Fallen Order in there?
Ooh.
That should have been in there because it wasn't able to be in last year. So they should have put it in this year because it's nominated for something else down the road, but it didn't get nominated for Game of the Year, and it should have. Personally, because I thought last year last year was one of my favorite games last year. Had it not been for Ghost of Tsushima, I probably would have given it the nod this year because it was really that good of a game. But it's not in there. I could have easily replaced that with fucking Hades or Animal Crossing.
Send that shit to Hades. Yeah, I'm sorry. Every time I hear the name Hades, I hear K Mega's voice in my head with that whole thing. But I will say Jedi Fallen Order, I haven't beaten the game yet, but it is a good game. I don't know if I would necessarily put it up in the nominations. When you look at Ghost of Tsushima, of course Last of Us 2 is going to be there. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I played and I beat that game, and kind of not only is it the gameplay, but the story and the emotion behind it kind of really, really put that as a top billing type game for me. Like that, it was really that good. Like when you start like putting them all in there, I don't know if Jedi, me personally, I don't know if I could cram that sucker in there, man. I don't
I mean,
know.
again, it's like you're asking about nominations, not if it's going to win or not. Like, I
Yeah.
think it should have been mentioned. You have that category honorable mentions. Like that game should have been put in there. Like, I mean, I see people capping for Hades. I've never played it, so I can't really say it's a shitty game or not. I don't know. I never played it, but I've never even heard of the damn game. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? But it happens every year. You'll see a game in there, and you're like, that game? Like, really? And then you think of the games that they could have been in there, like I said, like a Jedi Fallen Order or Ori, that could have been put in there, and they weren't even mentioned. Like Hades is an indie, if I'm not mistaken. Put that in the indie game of the year category. You don't need to
we
put that in
got
there.
Indie Gamer in the chat, man. He is capping for Hades hard.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
like,
that's what I'm saying. He's like, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying I've never even heard of it until today. To be honest with you, I've never heard of that game. And it's not based off. They're not picking it based off of sales. But like again, sometimes at the end of the year, you forget. Like Assassin's Creed Valhalla could have easily been put in there because like it's nominated for something else down the road. So you mean to tell me it wasn't even in the category? But yet Spider-Man Miles Morales is in there for some shit too. Like they both came out at the same time. So like that's what pissed me off last year. Like Jedi Fallen Order didn't even get a mention, and they pushed it into this year. And they said that it didn't meet the threshold, but Miles Morales and Valhalla both came out like last week.
yeah, you were saying that in the DM, and I'm like, yo, dude, that's a point right there. That is a point. Like, how did they get in when last year Jedi Fallen Order couldn't get in, and that right there, yo, Pred, just talking to you about this, it just hit me. It's that time of the year again, man. It's pretty much that time of the year. We got Jeff Keighley, we got the VGAs going on, and then a whole bunch of bullshit is gonna happen as well around the VGAs. It happens,
and no matter
year.
how good, let's say Valhalla, how good that game could be when you actually play it and beat it, the 90 hours you put into it. No matter how good that game is right now, y'all will have forgotten about it next year, and you'll be like Cyberpunk, and you'll be like you'll pick all these other games that came out between
Halo Infinite.
Today's date and November of next year above it, because it will be a forgotten game by then. So you guys won't even think twice about it. And that's what they did to Jedi Fallen Order this year. Like no one's talking about it, so they kind of forgot about it, and they threw it a little bone by put it in a category, but like it would have never been Game of the Year because it was played at the end. Like that gray area between the time the Game Awards gets announced and that cutoff. So like they got fucked over. They did it to Assassin's Creed Odyssey a couple of years ago too. Same thing.
Well, you know how I feel about the newer Assassin's Creed, so I'm not even going to say anything about that. But Pred, I am going to move on to another panel member. I'm going to go back to K Mega. He was so gracious to give you his earlier spot. So K Mega. We got Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which I feel instant classic. I think both Oris, you put them together, I think they are instant classics. Some of the best platforming we have seen this entire generation. And Half-Life Alyx, which really took the PC gaming, it took it by storm. In the virtual reality space, it became known as that one game to actually get that's a full game in virtual reality. It became the reason to get a VR headset. And both of these games, they are not in the nominations for Game of the Year. Do you think they got snubbed, bro?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And I look at it from this perspective, right? All right, so of course, while Pred was doing was talking and making great points, I just have to go and I have to look at like the Metacritic, since that's what these people try to claim that they look at. Animal Crossing's Metacritic from the user base is a 5.5. Okay, they give it a 90. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, it's an 8.1. It's an 87. Doom Eternal is an 83 user and an 87. Last of Us is a 93 Metacritic score, but the user is 5.7. Hades is a 92, and if the user is 8.9. Ori is a 90 and it's an 8.8. Half-Life Alyx is 93 and 9.1.
Damn.
That's you know what I'm saying. And also you look at Ghost of Tsushima, the Metacritic is 83 and the user score is 9.2. So right here, I'm just gonna have I normally don't talk about the iHerpy machine and try to show any love or support for it, but this is my thing right off the bat. The industry is going after Microsoft really hard because of the lack of having VR.
Okay.
If you wanted to make a statement, then the statement would be Half-Life Alyx would definitely be up there as a nominee to show that, and even though I don't own a VR of any kind, when you look at it, it's the next level that can attract somebody who isn't really at this point interested in VR. But this is what would promote people like me to be like, okay, all right, it's nominee. Let me look more into it.
They got a legitimate game in virtual reality.
Right, this is the standard of all VR games. It's got a high Metacritic score, and it's also got a super high user score. So therefore, you would think that should definitely be there to not only entice Microsoft to want to try to get into VR, but also try to entice people like me that aren't into VR, that just don't feel like the commitment is truly there to get me to like look into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So either the gaming media is full of bullshit about what their stance is of going after Microsoft, and they don't care about VR either, or it was just one of those things for clicks, just to get people to just want to cap on it and say, oh, look, Microsoft is doing this, everybody else is doing that. Just hypocrisy, right? So then when you go back and you look at a game like, Animal Crossing, I get it. You got 110 critics that gave it a 90, but you got a user score of 5,764 people that said no. And whatever the reason was, I'm sure I need to ask my boy PK, or what was the reason why Animal Crossing got such a low user score, but it got murdered. Obviously, the users thought this game just wasn't fulfilling. I know that it sold really well. It's a Nintendo game. We get it. But obviously,
I do know there was some China controversy that came in with Animal Crossing as well. So I think politics kind of got involved and stuff like that. But no, you're definitely right. And the one thing I got to point out, and of course because my name is Xbot here, people are gonna go crazy when I say this. But when you look at the user score, because me with Meta, like I really don't give two shits about like Metacritic scores, man. Right. But to see the 5.5 when it came to Last of Us Part 2, that says something. And that
says something. Like, I mean,
go ahead.
It does. No, well, I'm sorry. I just wanted to just say you're right. It does say something. What it explains to me is that people are just as divisive about The Last of Us 2 like there are gamers that are divisive about Halo 5. That's why I was like, okay, you didn't like the Abby character too much, or maybe you thought Abby was okay, but because of circumstances within the game and the main characters that you really enjoy, it's just too much of a conflict. There's other people that talks about the SJW stuff, whatever. I don't care. That's their bag. But obviously this game didn't resonate the way that it was supposed to. And I guarantee you, if this was, let's say if this was Halo 5, which has a higher rating than a couple of games in here in this list that I mentioned, like it's an 85, and it's got a better rating than it was an 85 or 87, somewhere around there, but it's got the same type of rating like Final Fantasy or let's see, Star Wars, for instance. It's higher rating than Star Wars, and a lot of people love Star Wars. Star Wars got a 79 a Metacritic score. So again, like, why could those type of games not be nominated? And if it was, they wouldn't even put that in there. That's another thing too, what Pred was making, which really pissed me off, because I know that there's a difference between the Tomb Raiders. I love Shadow of the Tomb Raider, while other people like Rise of the Tomb Raider better, but I like Shadow of the Tomb Raider better, for me, in my opinion. But I love that whole trilogy of the Tomb Raider games. They all got snubbed. Every last one of them got snubbed because of that timeline. And again, when you look at Star Wars, the Star Wars game, that game was phenomenal. That game was it was one of the best games last year. But again, it gets snubbed. But then Smash Brothers doesn't get snubbed at all because it gets some DLC. It just didn't make any sense. It's all mixed up. It's a popularity contest, and I do feel that Ghost of Tsushima should win because it, to me, out of the games that they're highlighted, it is the better game because I have all the rest of the games except for The Last of Us 2, but I've seen every ounce of it. I've seen it all. I watched it all, and I'm just saying, I want to play it but I'm waiting for it to get down to $20. I know it's $30 now, but I want to get it like to $10 to $20.
Wow.
Before I play it because the animation and everything looks fantastic in it, and graphically it looks fantastic. So maybe that's the reason why they want to do that. But I think that because of The Last of Us 2 being so divisive, maybe that and Final Fantasy should have been taken out for Half-Life and for Ori, and Hades should stay. Hades is dope.
Really? So you played Hades?
Yeah, I got Hades.
Oh, okay.
Hades is dope.
Of course you would get that. Of course you would get that game, dude.
Of course I would get that. Of course, it's dope. It was because I first seen it on the Epic Store, Epic Games, and I thought that they might have gave it for free, but I missed it. But I was like, this game looks kind of hot, so I played it. Like it reminds me. I haven't played the Cell game that's on Game Pass, but it seems like it has some similarities. But the game is fire. So I think that's the testament of what I think that's what's wrong with the VGAs is because it's too oversaturated with what certain people like to talk about that's hot instead of giving a broader spectrum of what games out there that maybe people don't know about that should get highlighted more, in my opinion.
I got you, bro. And yeah, one thing real quick before I move on to another panel member, K Mega, and it is about The Last of Us 2. This is something I've noticed about that game, and I kind of sit back and I let everybody kind of either oogle or kind of gloat and talk about their greatness, their game, this and that, whatnot. But if you notice, nobody really talks about Last of Us 2 anymore, and to put it in proper perspective. People are still talking about God of War, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that's still in conversations. People are still going in. When it comes to The Last of Us Part 2, I really feel like it didn't have that same impact that the first game had. And I feel like it was actually a step backwards for the franchise because people aren't out there championing it.
I won't go that far. I think because graphically, the animation.
Well, graphically, it's going to be better.
I think everything that what was lacking in the first game, they enhanced it so much. It looks fantastic, right? But the thing of it, it's just the story mode. That's what I'm saying. Like, but no. I mean, to me, it is just like Halo 5 because the story is so. You got people like me that loves Halo 5. You got people that loves The Last of Us 2, but then you got people that hate Halo 5. You got people that hate The Last of Us 2 because of how it was portrayed and how it came out to be. And I'm just kind of like, I get it, but to me, when you look at it from whatever standpoint that they looked at it, I have no idea. But from the criteria of when you want to go by popularity or this and that, a game that gets and I know it got bombarded, but there's a lot of games also out there that unfairly gets bombarded too. And maybe the critics should be looking at that as like, man, that game, it's just too divisive. Maybe they just step back and just say, you know what, we won't nominate this game. We know we will piss people off, but we'll put these games in other nominations, plenty enough to where they will win something. But for Game of the Year, we need to have the best of the best, where the Metacritic score and the user score are top notch. That's my opinion on it.
Okay, and you know me, I could give two shits about Metacritic score, but the user score, I will say, has a little more. It's definitely a little more credible to me, and I know people will bomb them and all that good stuff, but over time things kind of even out, and when it comes to that website, they are also known for pulling certain certain user reviews and certain other reviews off and stuff like that. But I like where you're going with that, K Mega. And when I was talking about The Last of Us 2 real quick, I want to shout out to the chat. I'm not saying in terms of like technically like a step back, because they did a lot of things. Their animation and kind of like physics engine, stuff like that. Everything was a step forward graphically and stuff like that. I'm talking in overall popularity, though, is what I'm saying. And, a lot of people will point to popularity in terms of sales. But let's be real. A lot of people bought The Last of Us Part 2 because they had such an experience with The Last of Us Part 1. All right? So, sales can't really determine the popularity of a sequel, but it does determine the popularity of a franchise, okay? And what I'm saying is, if you look at social media now, there's not too many people still talking about The Last of Us Part 2, is what I'm saying. Where, if you look at The Last of Us Part 1, people were talking about that, going from the PS3 into the PS4 and then moving forward from there. It was always a part of the conversation. The soft reboot to God of War is still a part of the gaming conversation out there with gamers on social media and stuff. And what I'm saying is Last of Us Part 2, I don't see that being a part of the conversation anymore. That's what I'm saying is the step back. And on that note, we are going to go to Dark Optimus after I said all that stuff about a PlayStation game. Dark, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Half-Life Alyx, did they get snubbed? And if so, what would be the two games that you pull out? And before you answer, hold on, because I got a super chat, brother. Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man one more time. He says, remember the year Red Dead Redemption got snubbed for not being in the awards, but they pushed the awards back for Death Stranding the next year? Did they do that, really?
They didn't get snubbed. It was in the... He's talking about because God of War 1. I thought that was because it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
It could go either way on that one.
It could go either way. Yeah. Those were really even games. They were really both fantastic games. I just think that, they did push it back because of Death Stranding last year, which was bullshit in my opinion.
Okay, all right. So, Dark, what do you think, bro? Ori 2, Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx, again, became that game for VR. It was that, everybody was looking for that one full game that you could really get into when it comes to virtual reality. That game was it. And it's not nominated for Game of the Year. Do you think these two games got snubbed, brother?
I think my answer is going to surprise you. I think Ori got snubbed, but I don't think Half-Life Alyx got snubbed.
Really?
And the only reason why I say Alyx didn't get snubbed is because it's a VR game. And with VR, it's a little bit more finicky because not everybody owns a VR, and not everybody wants to own a VR. And I think it's kind of in that mode of like, it's just kind of like if it was like a regular game, like that just came out and was just Half-Life and people were able to just jump in and play it would have probably got nominated. But since it's a VR game and not everybody got to play it, and that you'd have to actually go out and spend this god awful amount of money just to even get it to run on your PC plus your VR headset. I think for a lot of people it just wouldn't be worth it for a lot of people.
Yeah,
so
you would definitely have to invest a lot into playing that game. That game, when it came to the requirements, man, it wasn't for poor folk like me, man. Let's be real.
Well, I mean, it was on the Oculus Quest, yes, but you actually had to hook up the Oculus Quest to the PC in order to actually play the game. So, not technically could you have spent less money on the game, the experience, but it's still you're still gonna have to spend money in order to get that VR experience. You're gonna have to spend a lot more than what you would if because last year, I mean, yeah, granted we're in the next generation of consoles, but last year we weren't in the last, this past year we weren't into the next generation of consoles until the end of this month, until the 10th and the 12th. So
Yeah, some of us are
of
still
this month.
waiting too. Yeah.
And some of us are still waiting, and a lot of us are still waiting. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a shit ton of people who are still waiting. So I mean, I think if anything, I would have taken out, and I know a lot of people are gonna fucking hate me for this, and people are gonna fucking probably go
Final
off
Fantasy.
the fucking rails. And you're right. I think Final Fantasy should have been taken out,
Woo!
and Ori should
It's
have been
not a
put in.
complete game. I agree with
Should-
you.
Spicy.
It's not a complete game. It's a boring fucking game. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Granted, it's gorgeous. The story is good, but the gameplay is fucking boring, man. The gameplay is so boring. It reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I love that game, but at the same time, I realize that gameplay is very boring. It's very one-sided, like, mash buttons type of game, and I just, I think, a lot of people are, I could probably already see it right now. People in the chat like, this fucking guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
It's coming.
Blah, blah, blah,
It's
blah.
coming, bro. Like, if it's not there yet, it's coming.
It's coming. But I think, I mean, if you enjoyed Final Fantasy, awesome. But I think Ghost of Tsushima is just a lot better of a game. A lot better it's something that could spawn off into a franchise that I think is going to be something really special. So
I can
it's
picture,
definitely
I
one
can
of those
picture
games.
that game winning Game of the Year. By the way, like,
Yeah,
definitely.
that game is definitely going to be my game of the year, because it was just so good. I had so much fun with that game. I mean, I think The Last of Us was good, but I kind of agree with you, Bot. There was a step back in terms of just overall story aspects of the game.
Mhm.
I felt like the story was really good. It was really
It felt like
constructed
they
good.
were. It felt like they were reaching for that wow factor. Where with the first
Right.
one,
They
the
were-
first one, it was
right.
more natural. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They were, but it's hard when it comes to a sequel, because it's
Yeah.
like you've already established this world and these people. I think what really got people really peeved off is the fact that, spoiler alert, if you haven't played it yet, turn
Really?
your mics off.
Do you have to say that?
But-
like, really?
Spoiler alert, fucking Joel dies.
What?
Granted.
What? No.
So
You're not-
that pissed off a lot of people. I think even the fact of playing as Abby pissed off a lot of people, because Abby is, but honestly, like, those moments playing as Abby was a lot better than playing as Ellie. Like, in my opinion, I thought I had more fun playing as Abby because hers is more of an action packed type of thing, and Ellie's is a little bit more stealth, but yet it's still got some action
it's
in there. But
Assassin's Creed.
it's just it was good. I mean, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. Like, the game is a fantastic game. It's just it's not. I don't think it's game of the year material. Like, I don't think it'll. I think it should have been nominated. Yes, definitely. But I don't think it's gonna win that prize. And it's the same thing with Final Fantasy. I don't think that's gonna win. And I know a lot of people love that game. I mean, but when it comes down to it, who really cares? Like, this stuff is like, I mean, yeah, granted, like, it's on a bigger scale, and that's the thing. A lot of people are gonna blame Jeff Keighley because he's the face of the entire Game Awards, everything. They blame him, but you got to remember that he's got like 90 different people, freaking 90 different companies saying, hey, these are the games that we want, and they got to go by what those 90 companies say, and you guys got to remember that, like, Xbox and well, especially Xbox is big here, it's big in Europe, and it's big in Brazil and
Yes.
Australia.
Mexico
that's about
too.
it.
Mexico too.
Mexico too.
Canada
Mexico
as well.
Canada, things like that. But
Blame
that's
Canada.
but you gotta, that's the thing. Like in China and things like that, because I know they go and they get
China's
things
a
from
PC
China.
life, man. That's number
PC,
one over there.
that's why I think Hades made it onto that list, because Hades is a huge PC exclusive for especially in China. I think they love that game. So you gotta take it and broaden it from not just us here in America, but other countries around the world,
but
and you
me and
gotta
Key Mega
understand
just
that.
gave you like 3 other countries like that
Yeah,
added
but you
to
got-
that, man.
Yeah, but you got to remember that a lot of those, but there's a lot of countries that don't like Xbox. There are a lot of those countries that they just don't. They even don't like America. Like that's the
America!
thing. Like they don't. So
There are a lot of Americans that
it-
don't like America, so
right, exactly. So I mean, it's just it's. I think Ori should have been on that
Mhm.
list, but it sucks that it's not, because I mean it was a good game, and I think I didn't finish it, but I think if I would have, I think I would have definitely put it on my list of game of the year.
Well, you're on my
Um,
shit list now because you played it and you didn't finish it. Oh my
But
goodness, man!
I mean, it was. I mean, that's the thing, dude. Like I'm not
it's
much
so
for
addicting. How can you
side-scrolling.
not play it until the
It's
end?
the
like-
side scrolling. It's the side scrolling. That's what it is. I
Yo, Pred, get this man.
cannot.
Pred, get this man.
I can't play side scrolling games. I just can't.
All right.
You
Like
problem.
I have to have that open world, type of action
That's
adventure
because he
game.
lives in a very small apartment and he can't side scroll. He needs the open world. He needs to feel like he's breathing fresh air.
Hey,
in the...
I don't give you guys shit about the games that you guys like you fucking.
Oh, yeah, you
Forzas
do.
And shit.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
you're
yeah,
right,
you
I
do.
do.
Yeah, you do.
I'm doing it right now.
Hold on. Real quick, I got a couple super chats here. Yo, shout out to my brother Sir X-Man hitting it up one more time with the super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. He says Red Dead was a month before the awards. They didn't put it in for a nomination at all that year. So he said that, and I believe there was another one.
They did. They did.
Okay.
But
I'm
you
looking at
gotta
it right
remember.
now.
But you gotta
Colette-
remember.
But
you gotta
I said
remember
there was
that-
one more super chat, Dark.
Oh, I was just saying. My bad. I was just
But
saying.
you gotta remember
before-
with that game though. You gotta remember with that game, it's set in the Wild West of America.
America.
You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't fucking gravitate to everybody. Like I mean, yeah, granted, The Last of Us is here in America, yeah, but it just a lot of that stuff just doesn't gravitate towards every.
Yo,
single
Stubbs, I think Dark is starting to drink some Crispy's petrol real quick. Just a couple sips.
Well, I'm the nice guy over here. I'm
I
just
know.
sitting here waiting.
I picture you with your hands folded and everything, just waiting.
Actually,
patiently
Stubbs,
for
I don't
your
think
time.
he's here anymore, dude. I didn't.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Stubbs is gone?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody tried to get. Oh man. Well, first off, Sir X-Man with the other super chat, he says, I like traditional turn-based RPGs like old Final Fantasy. A lot of people do, brother. And again, couple more. Sir X-Man with that super chat, why didn't Flight Simulator make it highest rated game this year? That is the truth. That they should have
At
been
least
in the
at least it got a
nomination
nomination on something.
if you got
I mean, that's the thing.
these other ones. So
got a
it did get a nomination for something?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, and shout out to Friendly Neighborhood Blue Shell hitting up that super chat, and he just basically said, someone is a gaming fraud. I wonder who he's talking to, Dark. I wonder.
Probably me. Yeah, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
Blue Shell's awesome.
That's the thing. Like Ori and Flight Simulator. At least they got on a list somewhere. Yeah, they weren't on the Game of the Year list, but they were on at least the Game Awards. They're going to be on there. They're going to, because the Game Awards is pretty big. And I think some of those games are going to get the shine that they should get. Even if they don't win, they're still going to get that shine because people are going to be like, oh, this was on the Game Awards. Maybe I'll go check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I got you, brother. And I just want
I wouldn't worry too much. Plus, it's not really what matters.
Shut up, Dark.
Because if it's your game, if you like a certain game, what does it fucking matter what those people like, anyways? You know?
No, I hear you,
I'm
man.
just saying.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you on that. I do want to give an update on Stubbs. I did check the DM. Unfortunately, he is having internet issues right now. I believe he is still trying to get back in. So any Stubbs Gaming fans, just to let you know, he is trying to get back in. Hopefully he does get back in. There's nothing I can really do to help him out because I am controlling the whole kind of like show, OBS and stuff like that. But shout out to him. I hope he gets back in. But we got to go to Crispy on this. Crispy, this is basically our first topic, and we got the dinging going on in the background. Dude, Ori 2, Half-Life Alyx, and you heard what I said about Half-Life. You know, Ori 2, in the community we're in, you know, most people know about that game. I don't know if you have gotten a chance to play it or not, but do you think that these games got snubbed for Game of the Year?
You know, you can't even like say that at this point. There's so many good games that have come out in the past year. I will say, like, super snub, like Curb Stomped was Jedi Fallen Order, definitely got just destroyed. Not getting nominated for, I think, anything. Pretty bad. Amazing game. You know, Star
It did get
Wars. I mean,
nominated,
come on, people.
Didn't it?
It got one nomination.
For what?
Yeah.
I forgot what it's for. Action adventure, I think.
See, that's just ridiculous.
You're talking about Jedi Fallen Order, right?
Yeah, that's still ridiculous though. Like it's crazy that a remake like Final Fantasy VII has a Game of the Year nomination, but you can't take a brand new Star Wars game that really is. It's a brand new story. It's a you know, it's in the lore still. They managed to do that. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Ori is probably one of the most glorious side scrollers anyone has ever played. And without saying words, the emotion you get from that game is absolutely incredible. And I can't understand why we have 3 PlayStation exclusive games at this point in time in the Game of the Year. PlayStation's the best, so guess what? I never played them. So how about all the people that never played it? Do they get a voice, or is it just, you know, let's throw games that those 90 people that have a free PlayStation console got?
And
right?
again in Crispy's defense on this, yo, real quick, dude, you are botting like crazy. We're only hearing me. Dude, you are botting.
Am I dark? Am I dark?
Okay, there he is. But yo, in Crispy's defense on this, you got to go back to what K Mega said. You know, in terms of the user scores on that. Again, Meta Who, you know, when it comes to like the Metacritic scores and stuff. But there is something to be said about, you know, the user scores for some of these games that were nominated in comparison to other games that weren't, and how much the gaming community loved those games, and they probably should have been there instead. Let's be real on that, man.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. No, it was Dark that was kind of like going.
I was botting.
Yeah, you were definitely botting.
Okay, all right. I thought you said me. I was like, well, what's going on here? Like, usually that doesn't happen on Hangouts. But yeah, I mean, why is there 3 games that you know, a certain amount of the population can't play, and you can't even play it on PC as of now? So I don't understand, you know, what the Game Awards is trying to do at this point. It makes no sense. Okay, you have to understand, like a game like Hades or Doom Eternal, there have been multiple people on multiple different, you know, spectrum and consoles playing those games. So
the majority of
okay, it's not me. It's definitely not me.
No,
okay.
it's Dark. Dark. I don't know if you want to like try to jump out and then jump back in. Usually that helps you out, bro, because you're only getting 1 word, and I know you're probably speaking like 7 at that point in time, bro.
Yeah, because I'm letting him speak, and I was just like, what's happening?
And Crispy's letting you speak. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very rare occurrence. I know. Satan is here, bitch. Yeah, there you go. You can't even say nothing now. Oh, now we got a double dark in here.
Double dark.
I jumped out and jumped back in, you fucks. God, man.
Why does California internet
But
suck so bad?
The reason why, dude. The reason why is because the majority of people have a PlayStation. That's why.
The
not
majority.
Do you think that's why?
So how many
Do you
people?
really-
How many people on this panel don't have a PlayStation? There's at least 2 of us, right? Oh,
I guess Dark doesn't count the minority in the gaming community.
Yeah, well, you know what, and that's my whole point. Like, and you got Pred over here.
Yeah. Xbox is
What are
the minority.
you about to say?
I feel really bad for you, Dark, and I feel really bad for the chat that's trying to hear you, and you still keep botting, dude.
Pred's over here not playing any console. He's just all on the PC, but he's still got to boot up that PS5, though, right? If he wants to play, those games. Oh wait, he could boot up his PS4 too. So I don't know. I don't see. I don't see the whole point in having 3 games. So you have a 50% success rate to actually get Game of the Year based off of, the 3 games. Final Fantasy VII Remake is supposed to come to Xbox at some point.
Crispy, shout out.
As of now, it's a remake and it's for PlayStation only.
I was gonna say, Crispy, shout out to Dennis Haas who did say that there are 2 PlayStation games because one is gonna come to Xbox as well with Final Fantasy.
Well, we
VII
haven't.
Remake.
You haven't. If you have only an Xbox, you don't have the opportunity to play it. So why is it in the Game of the Year talk? Makes no sense. I would take
Because you have
that
7
out.
years to get a fucking PlayStation.
He doesn't want one.
I probably had a PlayStation long before your ass. Just telling you. Before the trophies, by the way, sir. So you could go F yourself.
Oh damn!
And finally, for this,
Woo!
Animal Crossing.
That Wonder
Another
Bread and
game I would
mayonnaise
take
right
out.
now, man.
Another game I'd take out, Animal Crossing, and I would replace it with Ori and Jedi Fallen Order. There you go.
That's because majority of the people don't have an Xbox. They didn't play Ori.
The
But they could've
majority
played
of the
on PC.
people. So 60 million people is just irrelevant.
Yes.
Keep in mind, I was on Switch too.
Yeah.
And
Because you got to
no,
think
Ori
about
2 was-
it. You got to
Ori 2
think
was
about
not
it this way. Most of those 60 million people own multiple consoles, own multiple things.
So you're
see,
talking.
yo,
let's
no,
let's
hold on,
cut that
Dark,
in
you're
half.
not-
Wait, 60
hold on,
million people
hold
played
on,
Hades?
Hold on, Dark. You have no substantial kind of like source for that number at all for saying that. You have no like there is nothing to back up what you just said that most of those 60 million people are multiple console owners now. Let's be real. You don't know that. You have no idea.
You're right. I don't know that, but
Okay, but you claimed it.
I didn't claim it. I said the majority of those
Yo,
people
K-Mega,
probably
didn't he said that with confidence. He had his chest out and everything, right?
I might have said it with confidence, but I didn't mean it in the way that you thought I meant it.
I'm just enjoying the Caucasian.
The white on white crime.
Oh my good. Yo, can I hit up these super chat? Okay.
You can move on to the next topic because we're going way too long.
Yeah,
at
I
this
just
point.
want to hit up these super chats real quick. Shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell one more time. He says, take out the Last of Us 2 nomination and put in Jedi Fallen Order. That is what should have happened. Last of Us 2 was at best half hated or half accepted / loved. And you know what? He's making sense on that, man. I definitely agree with Blue Shell on that. And Blue Shell hit up the super chat one more time. He said no Xbox game will win or even be nominated for Game of the Year in this current media structure. Maybe later this gen. Yo, Blue Shell, I think you are dropping facts right there. Anybody have to say anything about what Blue Shell said right there? Because I think that's
I
true.
agree. I agree.
I actually agree. I
agree because I really think if Doom was an exclusive to Xbox, it wouldn't been in the list.
It's a great point.
I agree because I think Xbox is gonna have a lot of shit. They're gonna pull a lot of shit out of their ass this fucking generation. I
Oh
I
yeah,
honestly
no doubt about it.
feel like it's gonna happen.
We'll
What do you mean, like a
Xbox is
lot
either
of
gonna
games?
force-
Like they're gonna come out with
yeah,
a lot of
they're
games?
gonna
Okay.
come with a
talking about-
lot of
I'm talking
games.
about a lot of games
Yeah.
coming that aren't gonna come to PlayStation or come to
Mhm.
Switch.
I can definitely see that. Definitely see that. But guys, we got to move on. Is Predator still with us? Are you still hanging for a little
I'm gonna
bit?
do this last topic, and then I gotta go.
All right. This last topic. So let's make it a good
Assuming
one.
I'm first.
Yeah, no, you're coming in first on this one, bro. And again, thank you for hanging out with us, man. I definitely appreciate it. Yo, we're gonna go in. It seems that out there on social media, a lot of new PlayStation 5 gamers have been sharing a lot of issues when it comes to the PlayStation 5. Now, I've talked about this, for maybe the past week or so, but every time I talk about it, more and more kind of like video clips come up, more and more issues are popping up, and a lot of them seem to be dealing with something graphically. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to state that, game glitches, stuff like that. But there are things that I am seeing that I have never seen in a game glitch before. Like you have like these transparent circles popping up all over the screen. You have the entire environment looking like it's getting stretched like an elastic band back and forth. Like it. To me, I am kind of concerned that there might be a hardware situation here, and I think a lot of like there are definitely, I know there are loyal PlayStation guys and there are loyal Xbox guys, and I know those people will try to downplay anything that could possibly be going on with their platform. But with what I have been seeing, all the glitches and issues graphically, Pred, I gotta ask you, man. Is there any concern? I know you have a PS5, and I can pretty much guarantee that you haven't really started it up and started playing it yet. You didn't even play on the Series X when you got that either. But
Keep throwing that out there.
yeah, no, I'm gonna keep doing that, man. I'm gonna drill that out there, yo. But dude, like I know you see out on Twitter, like I every day there's new videos popping up, and there's new kind of like issues graphically with games running on the PS5. I gotta ask you, man, is there any concern for the console that you invested in, that there might be something that's it's beyond kind of like a firmware update, something that might be going on with the hardware, man?
Yeah, I mean, like you spend $500 on a console, you want it to work out the box. Like it shouldn't have these problems. And it's like, this is my stepson's box. I'm giving him. I'm setting it up for him and stuff like that. I'm gonna play some games on it. I'll fuck around with the Astrobot or whatever, and I might go into Ghost of Tsushima and play it. So I'll get a test for you.
Pred wants to blow on the controller. That's why he wants to play Astro. There he goes.
But I mean, when you're a first early adopter, you deal with these things. Like there's a failure rate for certain things. I think it seems like it's a little higher right now. On the PlayStation side, I've seen some people have problems with their Xboxes too. Don't just not get it mistaken. It happens, but I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's Red Ring of Death problem yet.
No, that was 50% right there, man. That was huge.
But it's concerning because there's a lot of people having issues. Like, and it is even like, just like you're saying, like the screen freeze and stuff. There's other little smaller issues in there too. Like, the it's breaking consoles. It's shutting down. It's you can't use it the way it's supposed to be used because they're waiting on an update, or like they'll tell you don't put in an external hard drive. Like that's not the way it's supposed to work. You're supposed to be able to put in an external hard drive. That's what that fucking USB port is for. Like you can't do any of that stuff, and so that's a bigger issue. And
Fred, real quick, one of the first things that kind of scared me about this system is when they were talking about kind of like a heating solution and how they were going to update the system over time. They were going to see how games kind of like performed on the PS5 and then put out kind of like firmware updates if there were any. Do you remember when they said that about like systems over? That right there would be a red flag for anybody with common sense, don't you think?
Yeah, because you want it to, like, you go with the highest threshold possible, and you have to have everything work underneath that. That way you have that buffer. Like, you can't just turn it on, turn it off, and flip it up and flip it down, and make it hot, make it cold. Whenever you feel, depending on what game you play, like that's not the way it's supposed to work. It has an optimal temperature. It should never go above that. It should always work underneath that. So like that chip is there for a reason. There's coolant, solvent, all that shit. The coils they put in there, and the liquid cooling crap they put in there, like that's there for a reason.
Metal.
That's there for a reason. Like it's supposed to keep it from having issues, overheating, or shutting off like it's doing. So I honestly think, like, maybe in a year or two we'll see a lawsuit come out. Somebody's gonna someone's gonna file something, because it happened with Nintendo, it happened with Microsoft, it's gonna happen with Sony too, and you'll get a class action lawsuit, and you'll get $10 for it, later on down the road. But I mean, I think it's a bigger issue. If it's here's the difference. Like with the Red Ring of Death, it was the Red Ring of Death. That's what it was. Everybody 50%,
knew it. 50%.
Yeah, everybody knew it, and we knew what it was. They were able to localize the problem. However, with these issues, they're sporadic. This person has this issue. This person over here has that issue. It's not just one specific issue. It's multiple different issues. So that's my concern. It's like, I'd rather it just be like one problem that everybody's having than multiple problems that multiple people are having. It's like you can't really pinpoint what the issue is. So I'm concerned. I'm going to fire this thing up this weekend.
Yeah, Pred, I was going to say, you need to be our guinea pig on this, man. You need to.
Yeah, I am. Because I just finished Assassin's Creed, so I'm going to have time to actually start playing. I'm going to play some Destiny on my X, and then I'm going to play a little bit of.
Yo, when you're playing Destiny, just you remember your brother Xbot, because I will jump in and play with you, bro.
Yeah. Off topic, real quick. So like, I did turn on my PlayStation, set it up, and I went in, and I kind of forgot about the whole Spider-Man thing coming forward compatible. I have to rebuy that. Is that the way it's supposed to work?
It's supposed to be $10. You're supposed to pay $10, and then you're supposed to get those enhancements. Now, did you have both? Did you get the ultimate version, or did you just?
No, I had just the regular Spider-Man. I never finished it, so I was like, let me go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I think you're supposed to pay $10. Or
it was trying to charge me $39.
I was going to say it's going to be $10, or it's going to be $40 overall to pay for. Listen,
it's so confusing, man.
It is very confusing. Like if they don't have another bar, and that's something that I need to know as well, because I don't know. But anyway, because I bought Miles Morales on my regular PlayStation 4. So if they try to hit me over the head for another $40. Bro, there should be people screaming up to the hills. So maybe
I was trying to play the regular Spider-Man because I own it. Like I wanted to play it, and it was telling me I had to buy it. And so maybe
it's got to be enhanced. Yeah. So, oh man, I thought it was supposed to be just pay $10, and then that was your enhancement.
I'll play with it.
Did you own it already on digital, or do you own it?
I own it digitally.
Because I know that there's an option.
And he just disappeared.
To do, to play the PS5 version, and then there's an option to play the PS4 version. It's weird. It's weird how they have it set up, because you can play the PS4 version on Xbox. I mean on PlayStation 5 for some reason. I don't know why they have it set up like that, but it's weird. It's weird how they have it.
They want to confuse people and get people to spend $40. Let's be real, man.
Well, it's funny because like I actually got Mortal Kombat 11 on PlayStation 4, but then I upgraded it for free. Actually, it was like they were gonna charge me $49.99, but it was free apparently. So there's maybe you just have to click on it and maybe it'll be free. I don't know.
yeah. Just click on that $40 and see if it's free.
Maybe roll the dice. I don't know.
Click on that and then just see if that $40 will come out the account. If it does,
I don't know.
But dude, if the $40 comes out of your account, do not call Sony and ask for it back, because you will get banned from PlayStation Network completely.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it back.
Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. He says they played Ori and Ori 2 on PC also. Don't forget. And that was from a little while ago. That was the topic a little while ago. But shout out to you, brother. That is also true. Ori was a pretty big PC game as well. I think there are a lot of Ori fans out there now. Hopefully they do make another Ori. I'm hoping, man. I'm absolutely hoping on that. But
before you go to the next guy, man, I'm gonna check out, man. I'll get with you guys next week.
all right, brother. Is there
Get my own hand.
anything you want to say? Any shots that you want to take before you leave or anything, man?
No, I took my shot earlier. I'm good.
Okay.
I'll see y'all next week. I might be on the Shot podcast tomorrow if I get home in time. But outside of that, man, I will have y'all some news next week on my PlayStation 5 and my Xbox Series X. I will play some games on it this week. So maybe have some footage for Xbox. Make sure y'all vote for Pred. Vote for my OnlyFans. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, enjoy, man. Don't get too drunk now. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, fuck that. You know what to do.
Don't bring a tree into your bedroom. Yeah. But anyway, all right.
You've done this before, have you?
Move.
Yeah.
Dude, I got so drunk one time. I woke up in the backyard of my friend's house, sitting in the passenger seat of I think it was a 94 Thunderbird, and it was parked in the grass. And I was sitting in the passenger seat. I woke up and I didn't know where I was. Like it was crazy. But anyway, that is for a different later, Brad. Let's go to Crispy because Crispy cannot wait to get in on this, man. I saw that in the chat. Crispy, he wants to drop his crispy truth. So, dude, what do you think, yo? And I know you're on Twitter as well. You see what I see, man. It's like every single day there are new videos coming up. There are new issues with games running on the PlayStation 5. Of course, some of them are game bugs. I'm not like trying to dispute that. I'm not saying that, that isn't happening, especially at the beginning of a generation. You do get games that come out and they do come out like a buggy mess, but I have concerns. And again, one of my major concerns is when we first started talking about the PS5 and Sony started talking about it, when they started talking about like the cooling solution, they said, well, we're going to do like firmware updates over time. We're going to see how these games are running out in the public, and then we'll kind of like update the cooling solution through updates as we go. To me, that doesn't make any sense. To me, that is a red flag. It's one of the reasons I'm like, you know what? I'm definitely not even considering a PS5 within the first year of the new generation. But what do you think, brother? Do you think there's hardware issues? There's a possibility of hardware issues? Do you think that this could be a major problem moving forward, or do you think it's just typical beginning of a generation type? Games kind of like glitching out on the new systems?
This is not typical. I'm sorry. I've seen too many different things, like spotting and just like total like the game is just glitching like till no end, and there's like lines going through, and it looks like you're playing on like that old school TV back in like the 80s or some shit. Like it's pretty wild what I've been seeing. Like nobody can forget Spider Brick.
Yo, Crispy, hold on one second. I just want to say, Christopher Hart, he said that there's a Series X console on Twitter where the man had a popping console that shut off. Now, brother, I hear you. Now you're talking one video, right? Opposed to many videos of PS5. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you're
and me and you, Bot, we try not to block people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we try to be objective and just absorb information. And I think we're both like that. And the problem is like every time I go on Twitter, there's a new video, not just one that's been like rehashed or any of the BS about, frames per second and this and that and all this stuff. It's just literally somebody like their console is just not working, and it happens to be PlayStation. And I follow more Xbox people, and that's why I even put out a tweet saying, like, are you guys having these problems like this? And it's like different problems, but there's still problems on both consoles. The problem is that a lot of these people are having the same problems on one console, And that's where you have a red flag come up and you say, okay, why is this happening? And you don't understand why it's happening. I'm not playing on it. You're not playing on it. I mean, even Pred, who has it, is not playing on it. You know what I'm saying? So the thing you have to realize is that these people that, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I just want the new PlayStation, even though they could have, you know, downloaded Miles Morales to their PS4 Pro. You know what I mean? So now they're having all these issues, and it's like, dude, like, I saw one that, you know, Miles was swimming. I saw another that he was just like flying through the buildings. I saw another that he was a trash can all of a sudden. I saw one that he went from being like a piece of the actual like ground into
he was a slab of ice.
Yeah, so a slab of ice, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah,
and then he turns into the one of the like buildings and like a bunch of other stuff. I'm like, dude,
a rack of polo shirts as well was another thing.
Yeah, and a fence, I think also. Yep. Like, dude, like either the game is broken.
Crispy, that right there, from what I know, and again, I am not a professional. I do not work in the industry, but people who follow the channel, you know, I try to learn things as I go. You know, if I don't understand something, I try to get in there. The one where it's replacing the player model with other assets in the game, I believe that is a game glitch, but it is an absolutely hilarious game glitch. The trash can going through the city was amazing.
Dude, that is great. Like, I mean, you almost should have to like have like a little cheat after you fix it to just do that.
Yeah, moving on, that's like hilarious. More sequels, they should have a trash can suit for Spider-Man moving forward. Like, that would be amazing.
But like then I see a lot of Valhalla pics.
Yes.
Okay. Of issues with that. Like he's literally like the game is just like all broken. And I'm like, guys, like, is this happening on Series X? Like, that's my whole point. Like, I'm just trying to be objective. Like, is this happening? Because I'm constantly seeing it and everybody's saying PlayStation 5. Now, maybe some people are lying. That's possible. But look, I'm the type of person that's like, hey, you know, is this really happening? Because like those spots and all that stuff, like the SSD failures.
The circles are what concerned me the most, because when it comes down to it, you know, writing a game that runs on a piece of hardware, computer, console, or something like that, seeing those circles there, that to me shows a silicon issue, a die issue, more than anything that would be written in as like an issue with a game. You know what I'm saying? To me, that screamed more of a hardware issue than anything else I've seen.
Like you know, the disclaimers like, hey, like it's a corrupt file or stuff like that. Like, you know, that's stuff we've seen before. You know what I'm saying? But like exactly what you said, like the circles, the way that like it was messing. Like, dude, like. Can like somebody with like epilepsy or something like actually play this?
No.
And not be concerned? Like, no, I'm being serious, because like, dude, like I watched one video where like he was playing Valhalla and then it all of a sudden went into this white flashing, and it was like crazy. It looked like a strobe light or something. And I'm like, holy crap. And I'm like, I'm looking at this on my phone. Imagine if I put this on my TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's something that concerns me. Like, what is going on here? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And unfortunately, like, you know, the more hardcore PlayStation people that have influence aren't saying a word. Yes, there's a few, absolutely, but a lot of them aren't saying a word. And it's like, dude, if this was happening on Series X, and I kept seeing this, just like I'm seeing it from their, you know, from their perspective on my timeline, I would have a problem. I'd be like, I'm not buying the Series X.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not down with that. And dude, like, even like playing One X to Series X, shit's supposed to be seamless and everything. A lot of my friends, I can't join their party. I can't do anything like that. So I'll call a spade, dude. Like, that's what's happening. Like, there's party issues right now with Xbox One, 2 Series. and it's causing issues.
There's
so
also
they need
game
to fix
capture.
it.
There's game capture issues going on right now.
Yeah, with
Series
the
X and
darkness,
Series
I've
S.
seen a
Yeah.
lot of that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But is this they're trying to show off what they got, and that kind of frustrates you. But you're still playing the game like normal, from what I've seen at least. Like I said, like everybody will just be like, no, this isn't happening. Like we've seen this 100 times, but I see so many PlayStation gamers that are actually PlayStation only gamers that are frustrated right now, and they need to speak up, and that's the whole point, because you can't just sit there silent and expect things to change. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary because I haven't seen anything from Sony, and again, stuff I'm gonna bring up happened in the past, right? But anytime there was an issue, PlayStation Network, you can go back into the PS3 and you talk about like the hacking that went on and stuff like that, and how Sony didn't say anything to anybody for like over a week and a half, and I haven't seen anything from Sony, going into the PS4 generation, into the PS5 generation. I haven't seen anything that would say that they have changed kind of like their process on, we're going to keep our mouth shut. We'll try to fix things in the background, but we're really not going to tell the consumers what's going on. I haven't seen anything that would tell me that Sony isn't like that anymore, or that PlayStation isn't like that anymore, for me to be like, well, they would say something if they were concerned about an issue. They would let people know kind of like what's going on and how they were going to fix it, stuff like that. I haven't seen anything from them that would point to that. Now, go ahead.
The most I've seen is PlayStation support hitting people up. That's about it. And they just say, call us or whatever, or we'll DM you.
We'll ban you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't know what's going on, but it's like all I've seen is PlayStation support, the actual feed that they're like, hey, we'll DM you, we'll figure this out. But at the same time, you see influencers like bricking consoles and shit. Like,
yeah, there was a YouTuber that was working with PlayStation, and then he's like, my console's dead now. Like they were working with him. He said that they were working with him and stuff like that, and it died anyway. But real quick, shout out to Fun Speculation. And I do, hitting up the super chat, and I love this, man. And I heard him say this just the other day, but he said, in hindsight, when Target canceled my PS5 pre-order, it was actually just good customer service. Bro, I think they might have saved a possible headaches with that system for you. So yeah, I would definitely think that maybe it was a blessing in disguise. But Crispy, I do want to move on to other panel members, because we do have at least one more topic that we gotta dive in on. So, let's see. Let's go Dark. Dark, are you there, sir?
I am here.
All right, Dark. I need you to be level-headed about this, okay? And I need you to come in with common sense here, all right? We've seen, and I'm pretty sure you've seen them as well, man. We have been getting numerous kind of like videos on social media with PS5 having issues. And yes, I have already gone on record and said some of them, like what we saw with the Spider-Man, kind of like switching to pre-made assets, like a rack of polo shirts and stuff like that, instead of Spider-Man, switching the main character into pre-made assets and stuff, game glitches. But, dude, with everything that we have seen, I am concerned that there are some hardware issues. And, Sony did not do themselves any justice by talking about, when it talked about, like, the cooling system. And they said, well, over time, we'll send out updates. We want to see how the games are running out in the wild, you know what I'm saying? And we'll put in we'll put in updates for how the system is gonna stay cool and stuff like that. They didn't do themselves any justice by coming out and saying anything like that. Do you think there is a possibility that there is some hardware issues going on when it comes to the PS5, bro.
I haven't had those issues
Uh-huh.
that other people have had. Knock on wood on that one.
Yeah, straight up. I just knocked on my head for you.
I don't know, man. I don't know really where to go with it. I have seen some people have issues with Xbox as well, though. So it's not like it's just PlayStation. It is Xbox as well. But it's not a majority of Xbox. I will say that. It's definitely it's honestly, and I know a lot of people are probably gonna be like, "No, you're fucking wrong. You're stupid." I think it's because they did the last minute disk drive for the PS5. Because if you notice if you watch videos of people taking it apart, you can absolutely tell that the digital version was supposed to be the
version,
the end all be all, the version of the PS5, not the disc version of the PS5. And the only reason why I think they put the disc in is because they realized that the digital version they were going to lose money on, and because I think it's like $50 or something like that, they lose money on the digital version. So if they put a disc drive in there, they're like, well, we can charge people $100 more for this because it's got a disc drive. So guess what? We'll make an extra $50.
So hold on.
So that's what they did. So I think those disc drives might actually be cheap.
Are you talking over? I'm trying to talk with you, bro. I'm trying to talk.
No,
with
go
you,
ahead.
Bro.
No, I was just saying that they might be cheap.
All right, no, but like, cause you're bringing up the disc drive, and again, that's a viable kind of like thought process. But I'm asking you. So these videos that we've been seeing, do you think that they're all coming from disc-based games? That people are that's where the issue is. It's not necessarily. It could be just be the disc drive, and all these videos that we're seeing, they're not digital games, but they are disc-based games.
It could very well possibly be, because I mean I can't speak because I don't have a disc drive.
Oh yeah, you got the unicorn.
5.
You got the unicorn.
I have a digital version of it, and I didn't have those problems with Spider-Man. I played it all the way through. I finished it. I didn't have those problems. I didn't have the problems with Assassin's Creed. I mean, I had that one little glitch of the Viking jig, I like to call it, of the dude dancing in the encampment. That's all I really had so far with Assassin's Creed. Like, Assassin's Creed has been running pretty good.
All right, check this out. One thing I got to say with the disc drive, because I believe that basically, I hear what you're saying, and I like that you're kind of, you're trying to think about what could be and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically, I think we're in an era now where even with disc-based games, we put the disc into the disc drive. The system basically downloads the game, and the only thing that the disc is really good for after that is having that DRM key, that key that will let you play the game. So I don't think the games run on the disc either. So I hear what you're saying about that, but I would be very skeptical to think that would be the reason. You know what I'm saying?
And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I don't have a disc drive in my PS5.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
And he's like, "Did you hear him, guys?" He said, "In my PS5."
So I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I'm not having those issues that other people are having, and I have a digital version of the PS5. So I mean, I know a lot of people have had, even coil winds and things like that, and different issues, but I haven't come across any of those issues yet.
Okay.
So I can't really speak on it, because I mean, I've been playing on this thing for, I think I played Miles Morales for about 14 hours because I was just, goofing around and shit in the game, and then I've been playing Assassin's Creed, so I played that for about almost 30 hours. So I haven't had the
Dude, go
issues that other people
outside,
have
man.
had.
You're
So it's kind of hard for me. It's kind of hard for me to. I mean, I do go outside, dude. I work too. You know that, right? Like,
No,
like,
I think you just
unlike
collect
you,
Social Security.
I work.
You just collect Social Security, man.
I wish. No, no, I don't really wish actually. Actually, that would that would just mean that I'm old.
You just made me hurt myself, man.
But that's the thing. I can't really speak on it really because I'm not having that problem, and I feel for the people that are having that problem.
I hear that a lot. I
really do. I mean, that sucks.
Can
man.
you
I mean,
just shut up for a
these
second?
These issues shouldn't happen.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that.
Well, I
a
was
lot.
trying to finish what I was saying, but then you interrupt me. So
I'm trying to talk with you, man. I'm trying. I try to have a conversation with my panel members, but I hear that a lot. People are like, "Well, I'm not having any issues," and I hear that all the time. I heard that this entire generation, and stuff. And when it comes down to it, it must be nice for people to live in that small bubble where they are only concerned about their own system and how it operates. But yet, when they go out on social media, and I'm not saying you, Dark, but people will be like, oh, well, I'm not having that issue. And then they go out on social media and they start championing for a whole community that like prefers one piece of plastic over the other. But yet when their system in the community is showing that there are issues, they're like, well, mine's okay. I haven't had that problem. It's like, well, what are you? Are you like, secluded by yourself and you only care about your system? Or do you care about the community and what's going on and everybody's experience in playing the game? That is something
that's why I said I feel for those people.
Oh, that's your disclaimer. Got you, bro.
I did say it. I did. I said it before.
Okay.
So but I'm not going on Twitter and saying, "Oh, well, I'm not having these problems either." I'm not doing that. You asked me a question on here, and I gave my personal take on it. So that there's a difference there. If I were to go on social media and tell people, "Well, I'm not having these issues," then yeah, that makes me a dick. But since you asked me the question, I'm not being a dick at this moment. You know what I'm saying?
No, you are not being a Richard. Okay,
definitely not.
And on that note, I want to swing it over to K Mega. Yo, Mega, I know you've been seeing this stuff on Twitter, man. Like I know you are very active in social media and stuff. So you heard what I said. I know that there are game glitches, and I know that happens a lot in the beginning of a generation. I mean, we've gone through it quite a few times already, being kind of like OG gamers. You know what I'm saying? But there are certain things that I'm seeing that I'm concerned about, and of course, it's not going to happen to every PS5 because Dark, his is working just fine. But
you say that like as if I'm trying to be cocky about it, and I'm not.
I'm being entertaining. Can I be entertaining for the people in the chat, bro? Can I, please?
Yeah, but it's misleading because it makes it sound like I'm being a
dude. I'm gonna let the chat.
Dick about it. I'm not.
I'm gonna let the chat come to their own conclusion on how you're being. Okay, I'm not gonna lead them in any direction. You said something. I said something, and they're gonna come to their own.
He's being facetious.
Facetious.
Do you even know what that means? Because that's not exactly what I'm being at all.
We just like saying the word. Is that
you're
okay?
You're speaking in tongue. There you go.
You know
I'll
how
do it in layman's terms.
K Mega says, "Let him be country." Can you let us be Connecticut, please? Can you please let us be Connecticut? Thank you. Thank you. Can I address my brother K Mega now? Can I do that?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I appreciate it.
As long as you keep my name out of your mouth.
No, not at all. Yo, listen to the angry otter, dude. Yo, Mega, that white on white crime. You must be like overfeeding today, man. You're getting all of it. Yo.
I'm sipping on this black label, just enjoying the ride.
Yeah. But Mega,
Yeah.
like there are some things like the circles that I saw popping up, and it was AC Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Valhalla has been known to be glitchy across multiple platforms. But there are certain things here where it's like I know people were talking about the silicon, the die, in terms of like the yields when it came to the systems on a chip, and stuff like that. And there are things that I'm seeing. I'm like, yo, that really looks like that type of situation right there. But what do you think, man? Would you be concerned in terms of the hardware? Again, I already said what Sony, their quote unquote solution to keeping their PS5 cool, with firmware updates over time once they see how the games are running out in the wild. Dude, I cannot co-sign on that at all. But dude, would you have any concerns right now when it comes to the PS5 that there could be issues hardware-wise with the console?
If this was Xbox getting this much attention console-wise, I would be concerned. So
Yeah.
why not for PlayStation? I think that it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, people get all caught up into their consoles. It's the launch, they're excited, but I mean, you just have to be real about whatever. We've seen some issues, like what Otter said. There's been some Xboxes that's had some issues. I think my Xbox seems like it has an issue with the disk drive, and so I reported it, and so I'll wait to get my information back if it's something that has to do with, because it works, but it like half-ass works, and it's something that I think I brought up. I don't think it was last week. Maybe it was on GRG, or maybe it was here last week. I can't remember, but I was bringing up a point of saying, like, maybe I think like Xbox is kind of just, they get a little lazy with them disk drives. Like, hey man, we know that you like them, but you know what? Them digital games, I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I look at it and I'm just kind of like, look, I got the warranty. I'm cool. I ain't tripping. I know that I'll get it fixed, and so I know that PlayStation fans, whatever the issue may be, they'll get fixed. The only problem behind all of this for me is like what I think Crispy said, is that there's a lot of high-profile PlayStation fans out there, gamers that a lot of people watch and listen to, and they haven't really addressed it like they would if this was an Xbox issue.
Yo, brother,
So
I'm in a DM. I will let you know. I'm in a DM with a couple like hardcore PlayStation people, right? And I swear, every time I see a new video, all I do is share it in that DM with them to let them know, there's something else coming up. Let them know there's something else coming up. Every single day I've had a new video sharing with them for like a week and a half, right? And I will let you know, in this DM, they completely ignore my post in there, and they just go back to whatever they were doing. They don't even acknowledge it, bro.
It's a joke, man. Like, I mean, all open world games have glitches. I mean, when Cyberpunk comes out, my most anticipated game, it's going to have glitches. It's just what it is. Open world games like Valhalla, Spider-Man, all those type of games are going to have glitches. The point though is that what the concerning aspect is when people's console, when their PlayStation 5 is just bricks. Like, they just, if they put it on rest mode and then they try to come out and they try to play a game, and then next thing you know, it's bloop, and that's it. That is way too frequent, especially it comes from people who are diehard PlayStation fans that are starting to complain now. You start seeing it, but not from those that has those bigger podcasts, or the ones that get out there and have the most followers. They're not saying that. They're too busy talking about slight advantages from listening to Digital Foundry and what they got on. Multiplat. That, like, those are those type, and see, when you see those type of things, you see how concerned that the PlayStation stand is about what the Series X is capable of doing. So any little win for them is just something for them to just cap and just take it and use it as whatever. But this is a serious problem that's going to continue to go, because if this was, I mean, for Sony being quiet, that lets you know as well that they don't want it to get more widespread. I mean, we've seen this in articles, we've seen this everywhere. We've seen people that stream everywhere it's happening.
You've seen
So
streams get shut down because of
yeah,
it.
like I mean, like they're playing it, and the next thing you know, yeah, there's going to be people that's going to have the best of the best, and they're gonna get through it. But I mean, to see it this rampant for the going into the first week, and then they just now got the launch in Europe, so I'm assuming that we'll see even more. And it goes back and to see you hear Dark. What he said is that his version is okay. You know what I'm saying? Like he, you know, it's all right. But they did all this talking about how discs are so much important, how you don't want to have digital, you want to still keep your game discs. And if what Dark is talking about, which makes a lot of sense, if that is one of the issues that goes into this, damn. Like, because that's primarily what a lot of PlayStation fans want to still continue to not go digital. They want to still keep their disc and act like they still own something, when in all reality, if they want to shut down the servers, that disc ain't going to do shit for you. It's just going to be something that holds your drinks. That's it. So it's like, Sony needs to address it, even though like some people might say, well, it's not that big of a deal. It is a big enough a deal to where when you see in the headlines and trending, and you look and you press it and you start seeing this whole row of people's PlayStations messing up and bricking for whatever reason, and you see these game glitches and stuff like that. You can only say that these glitches are cute for so long before people will actually start getting upset about it.
Real quick,
real talk.
Real quick. I have a question for you, K Mega. Now, first off, I want to shout out Z Black Rider hitting up that super chat. He says, "Is PlayStation waiting for a class action lawsuit?" Then he said, "Let's talk about it." Now, I do want to get into that. But before we get into that, K Mega, I do want to ask you, because the people out there that are trying to kind of make it a molehill instead of a mountain, you know what I'm saying? Trying to really kind of tone down this issue. They're saying, well, so it's because so many more people have PlayStation 5s that there's going to be more issues out there. Like, what do you say to the people that
sounds like that stupid ass herd immunity that I keep hearing out here from certain groups out here. That sounds stupid as hell. Shut up. You make a fool out of yourself. The people didn't pay $500, $400 to $500 to have this shit clunk on them. No, that's on any system. You pay $300 for a Switch. You expect that console to work right. I don't want to hear all that. Like, if they were giving this, if they were like, oh, okay, hey man, look, we got this new console. This is PlayStation 5. We want you to hold on to it. Let us know the problems with it. That's a different story. But they expect you to give them $500 for this product, $400 to $500 for this product, and then it has deficiencies. They have to address it. So Sony not opening their mouth and saying anything, to me, it's on that realm of like, well, if we don't say nothing, then obviously we can just let it slide. Or it's one of those things where the people that needs to bring it up and say it the most just put their head in the sand like they normally do and just don't address it. But if this was an Xbox issue, which has been some Xboxes messing up out there, they are quick to point that out. And that's the thing to me. Like, look, I mean, what is it? Is it that we just get to a point to where we just want our team to win so bad that we're willing to look over people that's getting fucked over with their money?
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it that serious for you just to say Sony is just doing better? That is garbage. If Xbox fans was doing this, I would say shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Reel it in and get with reality. Is the gaming community
a bunch of Patriot fans when the Patriots were recording plays and stuff from practice on the other teams and just kind of ignoring that? Like, nah, it's okay. You know, I hear exactly what you're saying on that. Now, shout out to Sir X-Man, because this kind of rolls into Z Black Rider's question, because he's like, you know, is Sony waiting for a class action lawsuit? Let's talk about it. Sir X-Man said, do you think Sony can afford a big recall? I think that's another good question that rolls in with the class action lawsuit. Now, in terms of the lawsuit, I think at the end of the day, because Sony is making money like hand over fist right now, You know, they were doing that with the PS4 as well. Again, not so much with the console sales, but it's the software afterwards. That's where they make their money, right? So, class action lawsuit. I think Predator said it. You know, there's going to be a lawsuit down the line, and then a bunch of PlayStation gamers are going to get like $10 in the mail, and you know that it's like I think they can afford something like that because by that time, you know, they have sold so much software that even the lawsuit really wouldn't put them in the negative, and they can just keep moving forward from there. And they kind of like dodged that bullet where they didn't really have to do anything, like Sir X-Man just said in his super chat, in terms of a big recall. But what do you think about Z Black Rider's super chat and Sir X-Man's, man, with the recall?
Well, I mean, it could be one of those things. I did hear that that some of the issues that needed to come out was because they needed a patch. Sony brought up and said that they needed a patch, but again, they could just say and kind of do what they want to without some of the community not really going out and saying, look, when is this patch coming out? Sony hasn't given any indication of when that patch is coming. It could come tomorrow or it could come sometime in 2021. But if this keeps going like it is, especially now since we know that Europe has got their consoles.
Oh yeah.
Then yeah, there will be lawsuits. There will be people out there that will start, you know, the magazines. We're starting to see it in articles a little bit now here in the U.S. But now we're starting. But if they start hitting out there, Europe and other places like that, then it is going to be more of a situation. When I'm reading comments of like, well, if Xbox sold as many consoles as Sony has, then, you know, Xbox would love to be in that position. Nobody wants to be in that position. And let's just be real here. You would pray and hope that Sony does not have a small version. No, let's not say an actual version of the Red Ring of Death, a small version, because that would break their ass and your precious games would be bought out by somebody. So so let's just be real about that. So you don't want that to happen. You want them to fix this as quickly as possible because they can't afford getting lawsuits and having to redo all those consoles, especially with the pandemic that's caused all these shortages on both consoles right now because the demand is so high, but they don't have enough consoles to go out for the people. And for in one article I read is that there's been people that has to be on a waiting list to get their consoles given to them because the demand is so high that they're trying to ship these consoles to retailers, and but they want to try to take care of their customers, but they're put on the waiting list. So this is not a good look if you got people that bought a PlayStation 5 day one, and then they're sending out consoles, and then these people have to wait a month or so or longer to get their console because they're backlogged and they want to try to get out as many consoles as possible. You don't want any of that to happen. And if you do, then you shouldn't even be calling yourself a gamer. What are you man, you should just be repping, you know what I'm saying, the Eagles or the Saints or something, man, because that's not what gamers should be wanting. I don't want PlayStation to fail. I just want PlayStation gamers out there, the stands, to just acknowledge that there's some issues right there. And look, you just say their point, like, look, this isn't a good look. Sony, do something about it. Tweet, hit up, tag. Instead of you tagging Phil like y'all do, y'all need to tag Jim Ryan and say, hey, man, what the hell is going on? And then I ain't got nothing to say. I'm like, look, Sony will make the decisions for you. But until I start seeing that from you guys, I don't even want to hear anything about anything else. You guys are frauding the public. Y'all need to stop it.
I hear you. And when it comes to a recall, when you look at what happened with the 360 and the Red Ring of Death, Microsoft had to eat over $2 billion to make that situation right. I don't think that Sony would love to do that. And I know it was a major situation. Like I said, 50% of the systems that went out, were coming back in. That was a really, really bad situation. But anything in that ballpark, I don't think Sony wants to deal with that at all, man. So,
some of these fans need to know where Canada is before they can open their mouth and start talking about, anything about what about numbers. Let's get that right. Get the geometry right first.
Oh wow, wow, bro, wow. Well, on that note, let's stick with Sony. Let's keep it rolling there because I'll get the Xbox people mad at me at the end of the show. Okay.
Go.
All right. So, Jim Ryan. Again, our favorite guy at PlayStation who loves to talk a lot of stuff and say a lot of things, and then all of a sudden, for some rhyme or reason, the actions don't necessarily line up with what he's saying. Now, Jim Ryan came out and said that basically, PlayStation believes in generations, right? So, just recently, he was in an interview, and the website, and I forget the name of the website, but they asked him about Thor. Or God of War Ragnarok. I was going to say Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, pretty much.
But God of War Ragnarok. And they asked him about it being exclusive to PlayStation 5. And basically, he would not answer. He's like, we're not answering it at this time and stuff, which is leading a lot of people to believe that it is a cross-gen game. But not only that, Sony came out and basically said, you're not going to see generation defining games on the PlayStation 5 until the year 2022. Now, the funny thing about this is, first off, and I'm going to bring this to Crispy. I'm going to bring this to Crispy first. Now, first off, God of War Ragnarok. A lot of people out there are claiming that's definitely going to be a PlayStation 5 game. Sony, they don't want to say anything, whether it's going to be cross-gen or strictly on the PlayStation 5. So, Crispy, I'm going to ask you what you think about that game, if you think it is going to be cross-gen. And I want to ask you, because Xbox adopted the whole, cross-generation thing, that, we're going to have games running on the Xbox One, for between a year and 2 years, between a year and a half, 2 years. We're going to have games running on both the Xbox One and the Series X, Series S. So, basically, the generation I'm in now with the One X, and the generation a lot of other people are in now with the Series X and the Series S. And they got absolutely hammered out there in social media, gaming community, stuff like that, games are going to be held back on the Series X and Series S. They're not really going in on the next generation. This is horrible for gamers. But Sony is basically saying you're not going to see anything from them that is generation defining until 2022. Isn't that basically the same thing? What are your thoughts on that whole thing as well, Crispy?
Are you going to leave all these gamers behind when you're sending out broken consoles?
That's too much money, bro. It's too much money, bro. You can't do it.
For them, it is, because they don't have a Game Pass model. That's the whole point. Like, you have to understand, like, they've already been developing this game technically because it's supposed to come out next year, right?
Yeah. So, they have it slated for 2021 at some point.
Okay, so why push that back? I mean, clearly they had success, at the end of the generation, this year, right? I mean, literally 2 of the 6 games are nominated for Game of the Year.
Nice for bringing it back to a previous topic. That is professional right there, bro. I admire that, man. That was nice.
Well, I mean, we have to be honest here. Like, there's no reason. I mean, Unreal Engine 5 is like slated for like the beginning of 2021. Okay, like that is, as far as like agnostic, dev type tools that these devs can have.
He said agnostic, man. He went in.
I will say this, like, I think we're going to see in 2022 the greatest of gaming we've ever seen. And right now, a lot of people, and you can sit here and trash on me because I'm bringing it back to Gears, baby.
Oh, he did it.
I'm seeing a lot of people that have never played Gears 5 that are playing it for the first time in the Series X literally stare at the beginning, the first part of that game in the campaign, literally stare at it. And these are influencers. These are people that have high numbers, and they literally spent a good 30 to 45 minutes just looking at the incredibleness that we probably can't see watching their stream. but the jaw drops that I've seen from people is incredible. And that's where I go and say, like, a lot of people are like, oh, Unreal Engine 5. Like, you remember back when they had that demo, the tech demo? Everybody remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, Xbox is going to have a better gaming experience on that Unreal Engine 5 because they're already using assets in that that tool that they have at their disposal. And that's the whole point. Like, we're not seeing what we should see. And keep in mind, some of these people that I've watched just came from beating Miles Morales, by the way. And they didn't do that with Miles Morales. They did that with Gears 5.
Ooh.
Okay? So I don't understand why everybody's all up in arms that the entire gaming spectrum right now is just cross-gen. Like, we don't want to leave anybody behind. Now, PlayStation lied for a bit. I'm glad that they changed their tune, but it's almost like, you know, selling falsehood to people, and that's unnecessary. So I fully believe that, you know, God of War Ragnarok is going to be cross-gen because it's supposed to come out next year.
It makes sense.
And 2022 is where we're going to see really, truly amazing experiences on these new consoles. Well, and I should have one at that point, so I'll be even happier. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, Crispy, check this out, because, you know, when Xbox adopted the whole kind of like, you know, we're gonna make our games for both the Xbox One and the Series X, Series S, you know, for, you know, between 1 to 2 years. A lot of people said that, you know, the games are going to be held back. Now you're saying that 2022 we're going to see some crazy experiences. So are you saying that, you know, when they do make games that go cross generation, do you feel like the games do get held back to a certain extent on the newer, more powerful hardware?
I'm going to be honest, it does in certain aspects, because the dev has to put the work in to make each experience its own individual thing. And you can't sit here and deny that. If they're not going to spend the money and have it optimized and everything else, like literally the only game that's truly optimized for next gen right now is Gears 5. A lot of people don't even understand that. Like, campaign, visuals, textures, the whole nine is already optimized right now. Okay, with the Operation 5 update. Like, the game, even on my One X, looks better than it ever has, which is
so
incredible.
does Destiny 2 as well right now with the update that
they
did.
So maybe they're right on par. You never know. But it's all about the dev and what kind of work they want to put into it.
It's all about,
and if you're going to make money,
gamer.
You know, and the money that you're going to spend, is it going to actually, you know, pull people into the game again? And that's the whole point. Like, Gears has a community. Destiny has a community. You know what I'm saying? So when you see better visuals and everything else, you get that brand new console, and you're still, you've been playing Destiny up until the console came out. You know what I mean? You're going to go back in and see what's different. And that's the whole point. Like, we're playing old games. Y'all can sit here and tell me that we're not, but we're all playing old games in some way, shape, or form. A remake, a DLC. I've seen people beat it in 4 hours, by the way, on Miles Morales. I'm sure that the Gears 5 DLC that comes out in like 2 weeks is going to be, you know, a 4-hour little campaign. But the visuals are going to be upgraded and everything's going to look better. That's the whole point. We're in a transition period. They're not going to leave the 100 million people behind on PS4, and they're not going to leave the 40 plus million people on Xbox behind. If they don't want to purchase it, they don't get it. That's what's happening right now. We can't get the console. I couldn't get a Series X. I have the money. I couldn't get it. I'm sorry.
Ooh, yo, Crispy, I gotta say, man, I love the energy right now. You are coming in hot, bro. Yo, Crispy, do you see the super chat right now from Z Black Rider? Yeah, okay. If you don't, I got it. I
do. Crispy send steaks.
Yo,
Yeah.
shout out to Z Black Rider hitting up the super chat. So Z Black Rider wants you to send steaks to him, by the way. So at least it's not turkeys, bro.
As long as you pay shipping and handling.
Yo, for real, because I yeah, it's gonna be.
We need the ice
leg.
box though. It's gotta be like like dry ice and all that good shit.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, Crispy, I will say one thing. I will at least partially disagree with you in terms of games being held back right now. And here's the reason why. You can look at games that, of course, they are multi-platform, but you look at games like Watch Dogs Legion, running on the Xbox One and doing a good job with that system. But then when you see it go up to the Series X and the Series S, things like ray tracing and stuff like that get involved. I really feel that nothing on the Xbox One held that game back. I really don't think that, like, they weren't able to go all in on the Series X with what they did, graphically. Maybe in terms of like the size of the game, or maybe they were, they might have toned it down, in terms of like load times and stuff like that when it came to the One or the One X. But I will say I don't think that the Xbox One and the PS4, in terms of like cross generation, I really don't feel like those systems are holding back any games whatsoever with how they are made.
You just made my whole point, because
How did I make my?
it's Ubisoft.
Okay.
Ubisoft is going in for next gen. They have spent the money to optimize these games.
Okay,
for
but
the
they're
Series
still coming
X
out on the PS4
and the PlayStation 5. And that's the whole point. You have to optimize. You have to put it. It's not like we're sitting here on PC all the time and playing all these games. They have to spend the money
Predator
and
left,
optimize. Okay, you have to optimize for the highest specs, and
Okay,
it costs money, and it costs labor hours and everything else. Like, like all
so
these
case
games,
by case basis is what you're trying to say then.
yeah, I mean, like all these first party games, as far as PlayStation or Xbox, look way better on that particular console.
Yeah, I really want to play Watch Dogs Legion on a Series S after I saw what I saw with that game. Like that looked pretty, and for $300 getting ray tracing and everything like that, I'm like, holy crap, that is absolutely amazing.
And I'm hearing it constantly. Like, a lot of people are like, man, this game feels totally different because of frames per second. You know what I mean? And they're not even optimizing it for anything right now. Like, literally, they're allowing the hardware to do the work, in my opinion, for most games. And that's the whole point. Like, you have to understand that we are in this little like area right now where we can experience certain games having like this greatness involved, and then we're also going to experience games that we expect greatness and we don't see it. And it really comes down to the developer and how they approach the situation, in my opinion. Okay,
but and then in that case, now first off, let me just real quick. Z Black Rider asked if I'm playing F1, brother. No, this is Forza Motorsport 7, by the way. It is not F1. It is Forza Motorsport 7. It is open wheel racing. Absolutely amazing game. I definitely suggest any car fanatics out there, if you haven't played Forza Motorsport 7, you should definitely play that. But back to you, Crispy, because talking about games being held back, then it's not really what you're saying right here. It's not the case of the systems, the Xbox One or the PS4 holding the games back, but it's basically the developers holding the games back, is what you're saying then.
Because they don't want to optimize. That's my whole point. They don't want to make it. They don't want to make it as great as it possibly be.
You proved my point for me, man. And
so we both prove each other's point.
Yeah, dude. It's because we live in the same state. Like, somehow, some way.
Oh my God.
That's how it worked out, man. But let's get K Mega in on this real quick. Now, Mega, we caught a lot of shit. Like, especially me and you, like when Xbox said that, you know, they were gonna still support the Xbox One for a year or two, you know, after the Series X came out, and then, you know, of course they showed off the Series S and all that good stuff. But now you have Jim Ryan, you know, God of War Ragnarok. He won't say that it's only a PlayStation 5 game. So, of course, I want to hear from you if you think that's going to be cross-gen or if you think it's going to be only on PlayStation 5. It is slated for 2021, but also what Sony is saying about not seeing true kind of like generation-defying games until 2022. Isn't this something that, you know, Xbox was saying, you know, for a year or two, we're going to be supporting cross-gen as well. Like, isn't it basically saying the same thing? And how, like, I don't see anybody getting on their ass about this, saying that, you know, your games are gonna be held back by the PS4 and all that good stuff. What is your thoughts and opinions on that, bro?
It's just the same rhetoric over and over again. I mean, from people that want to. If people keep listening to the same rhetoric over and over again, then they just want to hear it. They just want to believe it. It's obvious that Jim Ryan has lied to them to their face. And you know,
like multiple times, bro.
Yeah, like I mean, it's multiple times. Like I mean, you know, they keep talking about Phil Spencer and this and that.
And
but
Phil fucked up on things.
The
as
VR
well.
thing.
Let's be real. Man.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, when are people going to really start holding, you know, Sony CEO accountable? I mean, we've seen this little thing being played over and over again. The writing was on the wall once they started changing up all of their little stuff that they were trying to get people to feed up on to get them excited for PlayStation 5, and then the reality hit. Like, look, man, we're low on stock. There's really no way in hell that we can try to get to that 10 million with how we're behind with so much stuff. I mean, regardless if people believe in the chip issue or whatever, regardless, the pandemic is obviously been a problem for both companies, especially for PlayStation, on sending out these consoles to try to get to that 10 million. So they had to come to the realization as like, look, we still have 100+ million consoles out here, so why not try to get as much as we possibly can out of revenue wise, because they know how much these games cost. So it was something that a lot of people was trying to say, and they was bringing up, well, the Xbox, the Series S and the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S, they'll be holding back, these games. So now you got to come to the realization, is PlayStation 4 holding back these games that's going to be coming out with the new God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn? Or is it just a business practice that's always been available for gamers from every generation that we've gone through, that has gone, to this day? I mean, you go back from the PlayStation 1, how many years was the PlayStation 1 still getting games when the PlayStation 2 was out there? How many games from the PlayStation 3? PlayStation 2 was getting, obviously the PlayStation 2 was getting games till 2013, 2014. Damn. So when the PlayStation 3, and then you talk about the PlayStation 4 was out. So it's like, this is just the norm. It's been the norm. It's nothing different. It's just the way it goes. And none of these devs, it just comes also to show that when these games come out, these devs are still trying to figure out the hardware. You would think that, because they're, you hear these things about, well, they're closer to PC specs, and so it should be a lot easier for the devs to work with than it was with the PlayStation 3 or for what it was for the
you still got
OG
custom chips and stuff like
exactly. There's different technologies. There's more stuff that they see and like, oh, look at this, I got more stuff to do. So it always takes a couple of years. That's why when we see the best of the best towards the end of the generation than we do in the beginning of the generations. There are few exceptions when you look at a game like Rise, which looks the part, but again, or a game like from PlayStation, what is it? Until Dawn, that looks fantastic, but again, it's still lacking something that if Rise came out towards the end of the generation, how much of that, how significantly that would have been compared to how Rise looked at the beginning of the generation, or like at,
Well,
within its
Mega,
game.
real quick, a game like Sea of Thieves would never have like been able to come out at launch of the Xbox One.
No,
let's be
no.
real
I
on
mean, you seen the project. What was it? Project the where you can kind of make the game and go through
Project
it.
Spark.
Or Project Spark. You see how that was. It was very ambitious. It was cool, but it was very limited. And then that's kind of the reason why it died off compared to when you see the one game that Sony has brought out, and how much more things that you'll be able to customize and make, and people that's very creative can do with whatever I forgot the name of the game. I know Cali Rex, he was touting it a lot, and it's very impressive game. Yeah, I think it is Dreams, but that's the thing. It's like there's these crazy expectations, and there's people that's been saying that they've been gaming ever since the days of Nintendo 64 or let's say the PlayStation 1 era, but then they act dumb as rocks, like they don't know how this works. So it's like, if you want to fall for it, go ahead. I got some I got some California land and ocean that I can sell you out here in Oklahoma, man, and it'll go for real cheap. All you got to do is hit me up. For real. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's just what Sony does, man. I mean, it is not only just what Sony does, it's just a smart thing to do. There is no reason to try to pinpoint on just one console right now when you haven't even gotten to when you have so many people that's still on PlayStation 4 that would love to play that game and then also add to that revenue. It just makes more sense. Like, I mean, I think part of that 10 million that went towards Titanfall 1, you would think that most of that, or at least half of that, part of that went to PC and went from the 360 gamers out there. So that's just one of those things where it's just common sense. There is no reason to try to talk about what's holding anything back. I'm sure the game is going to look fantastic. It's going to be polished, just like anything else that Xbox is going to be doing in the future.
Yo, check this out, K-Mega. It's funny. Yeah. I'm watching the chat, and of course, shout out to everybody who's hanging out with us right now. Definitely, appreciate you guys spending your time with us on a Thursday night. But it's funny how when we're bringing up the cross-gen thing, people are bringing up the whole multi-plat issue with Digital Foundry. Like, they don't want to hear about that, the cross-gen and how Sony.
They don't. They're man. I wouldn't be. I mean, look, man. You can enjoy those overclocks all you want to. Once that, listen, and it was just like what I said as well. Like, you can enjoy. I watch Digital Foundry for what Digital Foundry is. It's entertaining to watch what they say, but again, 108 Dragons made a great point when they were talking about like games that can't be scaled up in 4K, and because there is no stuff that you can do that's 4K 120. There is no capture card like that anywhere available. They don't have that type of technology. So how can they talk about it if they don't have it? And then like for other things, like like people would say, well, Digital Foundry came and said that GT Sport was better. It was better than Forza 7 graphically in this aspect, that aspect. I did a stream, and that's how I know that some people just say shit and they got whatever they want to do. I did a stream.
Funny. I just thought it was funny. Like they don't want to hear about the topic we're talking about, but they want to deflect it with something else that's going on.
It's what they do. They can't really talk about the subject. It is what it is. It's just like like I said with the Forza 7 situation. I streamed Forza 7 and then I streamed GT Sport, and then people were like, "What is this?" I was like, "This is GT Sport." Hell no. And then they brought up the Digital Foundry thing, which made me look at the video and made me make that point, like I talk about it in 2019, like, y'all got to be kidding me, right? Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. Not everybody's going to be right. There's going to be times that everybody's going to be wrong in one
nobody's right 100%
one way or the other.
Of the time,
nobody's right 100%. The thing of it is that, look, if you put all your eggs in a basket, and that's Xbox guys, including, anybody, that's Xbox guys included. If you put all your eggs in the basket behind somebody that you don't know, that might have interest because somebody send them a little paper and say, look, man, talk about this a little bit better, then you're fooling yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. So, you know what I'm saying? Yes, when they talk good about Xbox, yeah, go throw that shit out there or whatever. It's going to be cute, but then it's going to come right back to you, and PlayStation fans is going to throw that shit right back at Xbox gamers. Stop it. Just enjoy the show for what it is. If you like it like that, and just keep it moving. Enjoy your gaming. Don't even take this shit so seriously.
Oh man, it's crazy out there. It's funny, like, you know, we are YouTubers, K Mega. We kind of live, you know, gaming news and stuff, and it's funny how we don't even take it as seriously as half the people out here. Like they're like bleeding blue and bleeding green and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, I'm here for the gamers at the end of the day, over any like company or corporation. Like that's who I'm here for first and foremost. But with that being said, we got to go to the Angry Otter. He has been quiet. He has been absolutely quiet. I think he was fixing his internet, duct tape and Elmer's glue.
One or the other.
Or he fell asleep. I don't think he fell asleep, man. I don't know. You were really energetic on this one, man. So I don't think he fell asleep when you were talking. That's for damn sure. But Dark, what do you think about this? You know, God of War Ragnarok. I got to ask you if you think it's gonna be cross-gen or if you think it's going to be PS5 only, because a lot of people, you know, when Jim Ryan came out and he wouldn't commit to it being a PlayStation 5 exclusive, which means that, you know, not on PS4, a lot of people took that as it's automatically going to be cross-gen. I've seen other YouTubers kind of run with that, like, oh, it's going to be cross-gen, this and that, whatnot. I want to hear what you think about that, and I want to hear what you think about, you know, PlayStation coming out and saying that you're not going to really see any generation defining games on the PS5 until 2022, because I know you've also seen the shitstorm that Xbox got for supporting the Xbox One going into the Series X and the Series S for what they said 1 to 2 years. So what are your thoughts on that as well, bro?
Well, you know, I think God of War is gonna be cross-gen.
I think it should be, man, to be really honest with you.
Bob, will you let me finish what I'm gonna fucking say? Jesus.
Ooh.
Well, he's talking over me and shit and stuff. You are
not getting a fruit basket for New Year's. You are not getting one from me, okay?
I don't want your fucking fruit basket anyways. But like of course it's gonna be cross-gen, because guess what, there's not very many of these consoles out in the wild right now. You guys gotta remember, we went through a pandemic this year. Like, we went through a lot of shit in the past year or so, you know, like of course, you know, and they're holding back a lot of these consoles until Black Friday and Christmas and things like that, so they're not out in the wild. And then you even hear like Xbox is going to be scarce until next year in March, and honestly, I even think PlayStation's going to do the same fucking thing. It's going to be scarce for a while. So of course they have to put these games on PS4 and Xbox One. It just makes sense. It's business. Like, it makes a great business sense to do this. Like, anybody who thought, even when I think when we were talking about it, I thought that was stupid for anybody to even say that this is ridiculous that Xbox is not putting games on Series X only. Like, it's just dumb. Like, the only game that right now that's on, well, there's two that's not on. Well, there's actually really only one that's not on PS4, and that's Demon's Souls. That's it. That's the only game right now that's not on PS4.
And
you
Astro's
can say Godfall, but Godfall,
Astro's Playroom, man.
Astro's Playroom too, but that's kind of like, that kind of just,
that's a DualSense tutorial, man. That's what that is.
Yeah, it is. It's a game for sure, because they just got trophies and things like that, and replay it and things like that. I mean, it is fun. It is a game, but it is a tech demo. Like that's what it is. It's just like
I feel like there's a cock going in his mouth every time.
Oh damn! Oh, I'm done.
That's
I'm
not
done.
really something that you can really argue there.
Dark, are you still talking? Dark, where'd you go, Dark? Dark. Yo, shut up, Crispy. That was horrible. Yeah. Oh man. Dude.
Well,
Alrighty, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh, there he is. He is back. What is up? Dark?
So the only thing you guys can really say is Miles Morales, but like really, like of course they were gonna put that on PS4. Why wouldn't they put that on PS4? Spider-Man was the biggest, almost one of the biggest games of 2018. I mean, honestly, like if God of War didn't come out that year, it probably would have been my game of the year. For sure, hands down, because I loved that game. So yeah, of course I want to see people being able to play Miles Morales, because that's an awesome game. Like if you haven't played it and you have a PS4, you should buy that game for sure. Like even if you are planning on buying a PS5, like buy that game alone, because honestly, if you can't get a PS5, like don't wait, just play those games. Like, and you can play them again. Like there's no one's sitting here putting a gun to your head and telling you can't fucking play those games again.
One and
Like
done.
there's no
you
one
can't
saying
do
that.
it again.
Like everybody acts like, right, exactly, that's what people act like. It's one and done. Like no, you can play it again. Like who's telling you can't play it again? Like I feel like people are influenced by what people say. And for me, and I even think Crispy's not influenced by what anybody says. He's played Gears. How many times have you played the Gears campaign?
I have a year
Crispy?
of my life gone, bro. Gears
Exactly.
as a whole, I have a year of my life gone.
Dude. Exactly. And you would have been probably more upset if Xbox Series, if they said on the Xbox Series X we're putting Gears 5. We're not even coming out with it on Xbox. If it was like if it was a hypothetical thing where
I want to
Gears 5 cancel yet, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're
you
spacing out a little bit.
He basically what he's saying is that if Gears 5, okay, hypothetically it came out this year and they said it was only coming out for the Series X and that's it, I would be pissed. And he's exactly right. So I mean that's basically what he was saying, because you keep botting and I'm just trying to help you out, bro.
No,
Yeah, that's a great point.
That definitely makes sense, because
Especially with everybody being so short
Yeah.
right now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's a
would
great
be.
point.
That's absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just be mind-boggling to keep these games on one console. To be honest, like right as of right now, it's stupid to keep those. I mean, even they came out and said that these games will be optimized for PlayStation 5, but they are coming to PS4. So for people to say that, oh well, God of War Ragnarok's gonna suck because it's gonna be on PS4 and PS5. Well, they've already come out and said that it's gonna be optimized for PS5, but it's also gonna be downgrading there. Well, there's gonna be definite downgrading there. But are you gonna stop yourself from playing God of War because you don't have a PS5?
Well, dude, I
No,
think
you're gonna pick up.
I gotta say, Dark, like again, and this is something I know me and K Mega have talked about. At least here, I know K Mega's also talked about it on GRG, and I, of course I've talked about it on Crossfire. In terms of this, the Xbox One and PS4 generation holding games back, it does not do that. You see it in Watch Dogs Legion. That is like that should be the epitome.
You see it in fucking Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you should. That should
Well,
be the
the picture that I
right
showed
there.
with Ori, the picture that I showed with Ori, like, I mean, I wish that we had like the 4K captures to just let loose, but Twitter and none of that won't let you see it the way that you can see it through your television. But so like when you put that picture, it looks like that when I put it in, that thing said 6K upscaled. 60 to 120 frames per second. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn. And so, like, I don't have 120 frames per second TV yet, but it was upscaled to 6K, 60 frames per second. That's why that picture looked that good. Like, Ori looks better than ever. Like, it blew my mind last night when I seen it.
Nice.
Yeah. What was your other question, Bob? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank here.
No, I think you kind of covered it because it was the whole, you know, Sony not having that generation defining game. They came out and said they're not really going to have that generation defining game until like 2022, and I think we kind of covered it because. But go ahead.
We should be okay with that, honestly, because. What do we know of every generation of console that we've had? The really good games don't come out until like 2 or 3 years after the console's been out, right? I mean, that's really kind of the case.
I would say gameplay wise, it should be there from the get go. Gameplay wise, you know what I'm saying? But graphically, you look at the beginning of the 360 era and you look at Halo 3. Now, for the time, Halo 3 looked good. But then you look later into the generation, going into the end of the generation, and look at Halo 4. All right? Yeah. Like, damn, bro. Damn. Yeah. Like,
and that's the thing. Shout out to our buddy Don out there. He's even said it like Xbox One and PS4 hasn't even seen the full potential of those consoles. Like, there's still so much you can do with those consoles. So, like, us being in the PS5 and Xbox Series X era, there's so much that's going to happen with both consoles. Like, I know we didn't talk about it, but I know people have been bringing it up in the chat about, you know, Assassin's Creed running lower frame rates on Xbox Series X. Honestly, guys, that stuff can get patched in. You got to remember that they're utilizing. Microsoft went with a I think it was a GPU that isn't highly utilized in the industry right now. PlayStation did go with something that is pretty much almost kind of utilized in the industry, but it doesn't mean that these games are going to continue to fail to that certain extent on Xbox. I can't see, but we also have to bring it up to the developers too. Like, what were they thinking when they put that game on Series X and didn't optimize it to its full potential? You know what I'm saying? Like,
they were thinking console parity is what they were thinking.
It could be console parity, but I think it's mostly time, because you think about all the consoles that they had to make it for.
It's true. Yeah. That's the problem, I think, with a lot of this, is that there's too many factors. Like, you got Stadia, you got frickin' Switch, you got frickin', you know, different iterations of PS4 and Xbox.
Stadia.
you got the new frickin' Amazon Luna crap that I'm pretty sure is gonna have Assassin's Creed and all that everything on there, you know. Like, you just, like, honestly, I think what they should do, and I know that they probably won't, is just focus on for PlayStation eventually. Maybe not right now, because not everybody has a PS5 or a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X, but I think later on they should just focus on those types of upgrades, because I think it's getting a little bit too much for some of these developers. Maybe not everybody's going to have the problem, but I think some of these developers are going to have that problem. And granted, it's showing with Assassin's Creed. And it's not because it's not because of the console, guys. It's not. The console's powerful. The console is honestly, in my opinion, it's probably going to be one of the best consoles this It's going to be one of the best consoles this generation for sure.
Hold on, I think they're both
the Series X. The Series X. I think
the Series X is the most powerful, to be honest with you.
Right. The Series S will be that a little bit more of like, for people who
the Series S is a beast, and I don't want you talking any shit about it.
It is a beast, but it's the Switch of an Xbox, basically. It's a cheaper version. That's what it is. It's just a cheaper addition to it.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
I think once they figure out how to optimize these games for the Series X, because it's running great on the Series S. I heard that it's getting that full 30 frames per second on the Series S, which is good. Honestly, at this point, like, I wouldn't want to go back to 30 frames per second after being spoiled with 60 frames with my PS5, but there's that option, for people. And it's not. It has nothing to do with the console. It really comes down to the devs and what they optimized for. And clearly they optimized more for the PlayStation 5 than they did the Series X, which is a bummer.
So in other words, you're basically saying that they optimized for the lowest common denominator, is what you're
correct.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That is, and that's something I know people in the chat might not want to hear.
They don't want to hear it. Yeah.
But when you're looking at the graphical prowess of these consoles, like, there's one that is a little bit more than the other. All right, and there are going to be points in time where they are not gonna add into for the more powerful system when it comes to multiplats or whatnot. Which is kind of weird when you think about it. If that is the case with Assassin's Creed, because the marketing is all on Xbox's side, so you'd think they would do all that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why I think Cyberpunk 2077 is really going to look great on the Series X. It'll look as good as it will on the Series X on the PS5 too, but it'll look just a little bit better on the Series X.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Saying it's gonna be a little bit better.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though, and this is to anybody on the panel. When it came to the whole Assassin's Creed Valhalla thing on the PS5, on the Series X, like, I believe I watched that video, and the only thing that they were talking about with the advantage on the PlayStation 5 side for the comparisons between the two was in performance mode with the frames per second. But I swear there
actually isn't a performance mode on Valhalla. It's just that's where it runs. It runs at 60.
Well, maybe it was a different game then, because like everything else, graphically, the lighting, all that good, everything else was going towards the Series X. Maybe it was a different game that I was.
Yeah, the game looks beautiful on both consoles. It looks a little bit better on Series X. I could notice a little bit difference, but it is coming down to those frame rates that really is getting people charged, because they're like, oh well, it's not 60. Well, they were saying it was 60, so it's not 60, and it's like, well, dude, that's not on the console. That's on the dev.
Dark, that reminds me of the whole Blade of Grass situation with GTA. It's like anything that could be shown as different will be magnified out in the console war or extreme community. If the frame rates were the same, it would be the quality of the shadows or so, you know what I'm saying? Something.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be something for that, people to kind of go in and be like, well, this one's got this and you don't have that.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, there's just it's ridiculous, man. There's so many things that go into these games that people don't realize, and they need to do their research. They need to, but they're not going to, because they want to keep that narrative going. They want to keep the console war going, and honestly, I think our podcast does a good job at trying to keep the console war from firing it up. We try to.
Well,
I mean, we go in hard on certain things. Like I'll go in hard on Crispy sometimes, but for the most part,
Did you say
we
hard
are.
on Crispy?
For the most part, we're pretty
Oh,
level-headed
baby.
when it comes to games. When we talk about this stuff, we're pretty level-headed.
We are. At least I like to think we are. But guys, and real quick, there was another topic. I'm gonna have to change the title. We're gonna have to get into it next week, and it is an Xbox topic. It's something I do really want to talk about with the panel, but we're over 2.5 hours now. I don't want to keep everybody. I got dinner just sitting right behind me. It is Wendy's, by the way, and I absolutely love Wendy's. I've been thinking
Is it
about
the Baconator?
Oh, I
It has
hope
to be
so.
the
I hope
Baconator.
Baconator. It's like an $8 cheeseburger that I love, man, because there's just so much bacon on it.
So good.
Oh, dude, best $8 in the world. But guys, again, awesome show. Shout out to Stubbs Gaming. Unfortunately, with his internet, there was an internet issue. He couldn't come back in. But shout out to him for hanging out with us at the beginning of the show. We're gonna have to get him back on again at some point in time to really, let him express himself. I will say one of the more controversial topics, it was one that we didn't get into, but tune in next week, because I want to get in on the whole native 4K thing. We talked a lot about Sony and PlayStation and kind of like the Sony extremists out there. I'm gonna ask the question about native 4K next week on next week's show, and if it really does make as much of a difference as people out there are talking about. So that is a little tease to one of the topics that will be going on next week. But I do want to say huge shout out to the chat, all you guys that were hanging out with us tonight. I know you could have spent your Thursdays doing some other grand things, washing your hair, clipping your toenails, but you decided to hang out with the next podcast, and I definitely appreciate
You guys
it.
super chat.
Yep. Hold on. I was listening to Nate Dogg real quick, but shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell hitting up that super chat one more time. He said, "Let's be honest, the devs have not mastered either PS5 or the Series X. It is too early to declare victory either way." Now, brother, remember, at the end of the day, it is not Sony who wins. It is not Microsoft who wins, but it is the gamers.
It's the gamers.
It is
Exactly.
you guys in the chat. It is this panel right here. It is all the gamers out there, all the people who spend their time with video games as entertainment. Those are the real winners. I do not root for any corporation. They have more money than all of us put together. Okay, when it comes down to it, I'm not rooting for them at all. I am rooting for you guys. But with that being said, like I said, shout out to you guys for all the support. It has been an awesome show. And, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And I am going to start with my brother from OK. I can't say C because you're not Oklahoma City, but from OK? Is that a thing? It's just OK?
He's from OKBW, Oklahoma Backwoods.
It's Oklahoma City, baby.
Oh,
What's going on?
Oklahoma
What's your
City.
problem?
I thought you might be in like a little outskirt town or something like that. You're talking about
Dude, he's
the
from the backwoods, man.
pickup trucks and all that good stuff. But okay, from OKC. First off, I don't know how good your team did in the draft last night. My team is the Chicago Bulls. We seem to be the talk of the town with who the hell we picked fourth. Like, they're like, really? But I think this dude, he looks like a genetic monstrosity. This dude looks incredible.
He's a little beast, man. He's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And then of course you got the Thunder's old head coach. You know what I'm saying? Billy Donovan is a good coach. So
I'm happy we finally got a good coach. It's been a while. Since Thibodeau.
So yeah, that's good. But we're willing and dealing right now. There's a trade going on that's in the works between the Thunder and the Warriors. So we'll see what's going on. We're looking like the baby Spurs right now with all these international players. But
oh shoot,
yeah, so it's really interesting what's going on. It's rebuild time, but man, I'm excited as usual. But yeah, glad to be here as usual. And we'll be here next week, God willing, of course. And just doing the damn thing, man. Come and check us out tomorrow, the GRG podcast.
Is it next week Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Turkey,
it is. So,
turkey.
Thursday?
Fuck the turkey.
yeah. Well, Thanksgiving's on every Thursday. Yeah, so there is no podcast unless it's on a Saturday or something or whatever.
Yeah, we might have to change days. I'm gonna have to talk to the crew and see what day might.
The
be
crew's
possible.
gonna tell you we're not doing anything. But
Oh, come on, bro.
you know what I'm saying? So
Do it
you know,
for
we
my
might
liver,
stream or
man.
something.
Do it for my liver.
We could stream. but anyway, so if you have, I'm sorry guys, I was trying to stream. I for some reason I'm locked out on my Twitch right now. I'm trying to get that figured out. It's really weird because change of phone numbers, all that other stuff. So I got to try to figure that out. But I will get back to streaming, but it will be, I guess, on YouTube until further notice on Twitch. But man, appreciate the support and everything, man. I'm glad you guys come and check us out on Fight Night. And here, this Sunday, Mortal Kombat. We really doing it. Get ready. And I'm 2 games away from having all the games that I need to download, so I can actually start really getting into this console, getting into it, knee deep into it. So man, yeah. But thank you guys. Check out the GRG podcast tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And yeah, man, thanks for the support, man. And come follow me on Twitter at KMega4.
Nice. And not only that, but in the future, there is a possibility that a lot of people who do hang out for Fight Night might be playing a new Street Fighter as well. That's another thing we did not talk about. That is
we will be talking about that tomorrow for sure.
Oh, dude, I might drop in to say what's up and kind of give my 2 cents in on that. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But yeah, dude, that was crazy. But okay, man, let's go to the West Coast. And shout out to my brother, the Angry Otter, aka Dark Optimus. He was ready to start some shit at the beginning of the show, and I think he did. I think he accomplished some of that throughout the show. But as usual, it's always great, getting together with Dark Optimus. Dark, you already know the drill. You got the rhythm for it, man. You got a professional outro. It's time to share it with the people, man.
Yeah, I was a Dark Bottomist tonight, so I apologize to everybody.
It's not usually that bad, guys. It does.
I blame Crispy for it.
Of course he would.
I can't blame myself, man. I gotta blame Crispy for it.
Is here.
Yeah, it's fucking Satan, man. But no, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And yeah, man, we'll talk about what's coming next week. Hopefully, we'll do a show some at some point.
See, Dark wants to do a show. See that, K Mega? Dark wants to do a show.
I mean, not on Thursday, but I mean, definitely some point during the week. Maybe maybe we'll do on Wednesday or something like that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we will.
If we're gonna do it on the weekend, I won't be able to do it. So
we will. Definitely talk about it, brother.
We'll need to set it on the weekend then.
Oh wow! Damn.
Thanks,
man.
Mega. I appreciate it.
Wow. On that note, let's move into of course, Crispy. A man who has great taste in his living location, in the state that he lives in, of course. Crispy, absolute fire tonight, man. You brought that energy. You went in. I think people heard the emotion coming from you on all the topics tonight. Why don't you let people know you are on multiple shows? You definitely need to let them know what other shows you're on, if they don't know, and if you want to share your gamer tag, social media, all that good stuff. You're a professional, man. You're on multiple shows. I've been talking games for you for a while, with you for a while, so you know what to do. Just go ahead and do it, bro.
See, that's how unprofessional he is. There you go. For a while, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, for a while.
Even though we live in the same damn state and we haven't met yet, that should change. I'm just saying.
Well, dude, I don't have a car, so.
Come on.
He's like,
let's
ride
keep
that bike
keep
up
that
here.
to the DM. Yeah, ride that bike.
Oh,
there
I don't
you
care.
go.
My life's an open book, man. I don't give two shits.
It's at Chrissy Bomb on Twitter. Chrissy Bomb 28 Xbox Live. Hit me up. Yes, we do community game nights. We play a lot of games. Bot's there sometimes when he's interested in what we're doing, even though
he's not looking
never
at
joins half the time.
When I'm what? What?
He's not looking at Fred's OnlyFans.
Wow! Shout out to Predator, by the way. Dude, I'm his longest standing subscriber. What are you talking about?
Oh, on OnlyFans? What?
He's only got 2.
Yo, he does a cooking show every Tuesday. It's really good. Okay.
I'll show you some food tomorrow. It's okay.
Yeah.
Breakfast of Boom tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Yeah, I'll be there. Retro Renegades Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Yes, it's right before Thanksgiving. I think we're doing it. And then I don't know what's going on with the next week. So it should be fun. Probably like a Saturday or something crazy. Go old school. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I mean, have fun gaming. At the end of the day, our opinions don't mean shit.
Yo,
it's
real.
your opinion that matters.
Yes.
Have fun with it.
Nice, yo. And again, shout out to the community. And I gotta say, Dark, it seems like Crispy and K Mega, they just don't want you on the show. They're both like vying for Saturday here. Like
I understand.
It's a little awkward, man.
It's all this, it's all this PlayStation goodness that's coming around. They can't handle
Man,
it,
you were the best bot today. What you talking about?
Oh,
dude, don't tell people that. Then they'll start thinking,
And on top of that, by the time you get done, by the time we go to next week, you'll be done with every PlayStation game that's available.
Oh,
That's not true. You know that's not true.
But guys, again, yo, huge shout out to the chat, yo. If it wasn't for you guys, we would not be here right now. All the support, the show is continuing to grow, the channel is continuing to grow, and it's all thanks to you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And I gotta end the show the way I do every week. We will see you guys next week for the next podcast. Have a great night, everybody. And we don't have Pred to go crazy right now for the getting out of here. Wow, that's it. Yeah.
You sound like a chipmunk, dude, jerking it.
Oh, damn, and that's it. We're out.